Hello, everyone. There we go. You can all say
Hello.
hello, guys, as well.
Hello, guys.
This is not the madness you're looking for.
Oh.
Please let me know within the first, for the very first part. If you can just tell me how's the sound. Let's get all this done out of the way.
Yes. Sound.
And then we can just kind of crack on with the podcast.
Sound check.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to get always the sound right.
Right. Let's do it one at a time then. So, Kyros, speak for a few moments.
Welcome. Hey guys.
Introduce yourself.
Hopefully this sounds good. My name is RG Kyros from Roving Guns Organization, and I'm here today with SupermacbrothersRyan.
Yo!
Us idiots.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And by the way, if anyone catches Kyros drinking, that means he's an alcoholic.
You could be 2 decibels
Yes.
loud.
Because it's
Thanks.
8 o'clock in the morning or something like that, 9 o'clock in the morning where he is. So
Yeah, it's like 8:30 a.m.
we cannot lead him down a dangerous path.
You could have coffee with whiskey.
Drop a whiskey shot in the coffee.
No one will know.
No, exactly.
I think everyone's fine because no one said anything. People said, literally, Toby's telling me I need to turn myself up 2 decibels.
Kyros sounds good, so does Super. The rest sound like a bunch of wankers.
Oh, everyone's much louder than me. I can't turn my mic up any louder.
Start shouting. Just shout from now on.
Ha!
I'm
There
so
you
hyped. VCQBR. Do not worry. I have another bit to get you even more hyped about 3.0. We have a lovely bit from Jay Lee, which was clipped earlier, which we've got. If no one watched it on Oxford stream, Oxford was very privileged. Jay Lee came on for over about an
Jay
hour
Z
and a half.
came on. What?
Jay Z came on
Holy
with
crap.
Beyonce. Woo! And we
I
had
don't really care.
I have taken chunks of that, and we have some. So,
Nice.
So if anyone's not hyped about 3.0, this interview we got the audio file. We'll play it. It's good. He's also done some
Soon
other
will
great content as well. We got loads of stuff for tonight, guys. It's going to be great fun. Really looking forward to it. So yeah, anyway, I'm just excited. It's like So we got the sound working. How's everyone's week been then? Since we'll start with.
I'm just going to say on the audio quickly. I've just turned everyone down a little bit more and then left me the way I am. So everyone should be okay now.
Okay.
That's
So I
selfish.
should be the same volume as you guys.
All right, so let's just can we get like a thumbs up from everyone if the sound is good or shite?
Welcome.
There's not much I can do unless I turn you guys so far down that no one can hear you.
Good or shite. That's the only options we can allow.
I think it should be fine. I just have to raise my voice a bit more. All good now. Brilliant.
Oh,
Right,
good.
so if we start off like we normally do, like you were saying, Madness, what we've done
let's
this
do it.
week. Let's start with you, Madness. What have you done?
Apart from, I went to Bar Citizen with Sol.
Nice.
It was Sol's birthday, so we went up on Manchester.
lucky.
We drank a bit too much. We did.
I've seen
It
the
was
pictures.
Yeah, and the video. If anyone hasn't seen it, go check out Solitary Report's last video. I think that he did. You'll see me drunkenly taking over his controls of his saber, and masterfully managing to hold my own, considering the copious amounts of sake that I had drunk. Which I do love my sake. So I did manage, which is the crazy thing, okay? Sober, I wouldn't have been able to do this. Drunk, I did it. I managed to avoid it. I dodged 4 tally torpedoes in a
Nice.
size
Yeah, I saw that
9
little clip.
torpedoes, which was like crazy. So like to do that, I have done it sober, but it was definitely easier drunk, I think. Less fear. So that was a highlight. So that was good. We had a really good time. Bar Citizen's always good fun, obviously meeting people in the flesh and stuff. So that was really good. And then I've just had a great stream for my Madness's Diner giveaway. Excuse me, a really nice prize. And I got some good subs and stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to do a few more giveaways. And yeah, it's just been great. Really good. Really positive. 3.0. Loads of content, as I say, for the show tonight. So I'm really excited. I'm sure there's a real buzz going around at the moment for everything now. So very happy.
Mac?
Yes. As you say, there is a buzz. I'm buzzing like crazy, hoping that we get the Ivacoti build this Friday, which we'll see. But yeah, I've been streaming. Hey, Toby. Getting on with it. I've really been enjoying streaming and making the videos, trying to spread the hype without too much bullshit. As little as possible. But no, it's all good. I'm just getting very excited myself. I'm not sleeping very well because I'm too excited. So it's a good reason not to sleep. It's not like, oh, I've got so much debt or someone's trying to kill me or anything. It's a good hype.
3.0 hype.
Yeah, 3.0 hype, exactly. That's that's the hype that we want. But yeah, that's me. I think nothing.
Cool.
Too much more to say.
Kyros?
Oh, I've been since this interview we had with Jelly, and we'll get into that a bit later on. It really, I got my hype back because I was getting pretty low, and we did that. So I've been getting back into Star Citizen streaming a lot more. Got my original pledge package back, flying the 325A, having a lot of fun with that. So yeah, just lots of Arena Commander. Too much Star Citizen.
Never too much.
Never too much, no.
Never too much.
Cool, man.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. For me, as you all know, most of you have caught me. I've been doing a lot of duo streams this last week, trying to help out Yolanda HD, who's just started up streaming again. He's doing really well, guys. Thank you for everyone that's kind of hosted him and given him support. He's gone far within a week. He's doing really well, and it's been great. I've actually really enjoyed that's the first time I've ever done a duo stream like that, and I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for all the support in my stream as well. But other than that,
did you actually get any? Did anyone actually come and watch you in the end, or did they just go off to you and your friend?
I had quite a lot of people on my channel, but I send them all over to Yolanda. I've told them to go follow him and watch him.
That's what he says. That's what he says. Guys.
No, you can ask Yolanda. Look, he's sending the love in the chat. He knows, right? So, but we ended up using the multi-stream Twitch thing, and obviously that gives a view to the person that they've got the chat tabbed open at that moment. So it was quite good that people were going back and forth. I had Webby in Yolanda slagging me off, something chronic. But wouldn't say it in my channel. He was saying nice things to me, but then like slagging me off behind my back kind of thing. But it was funny. But yeah, that's all I've been. I've been playing Crossout as well. What's absolutely amazing game. It's good fun.
Oh, Crossout.
Oh,
I recommend people playing that because it's free to play at the moment, I believe.
I don't recommend people to play it.
Well, don't listen to Manners.
You don't like it?
He really loves the new Gladius layout, so we can't judge his opinion on anything.
No, I don't. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I don't.
But yeah,
go play RoboCraft.
RoboCraft. And yeah, I've been streaming a lot of Star Citizen as well. Got been recruiting like mad as well. That's me for this week.
All those pirates.
Yes, we've had like 12 people join over the last week. It's been crazy.
Can you give me names and addresses?
Most of them are in the chat already.
Right, I'm coming for you. You'll destroy me in an instance, but you know.
But yeah.
Okay, so where do you want to? I mean, we could do the first part of the JLE if you want to, just get us all hyped up for 3.0. If no one's heard this, this is the first thing. So it's JLE. This is the first bit. We have 3 of these clips. We'll do the first one now because he talks about ships in the game. And how the kind of like how they're building ships. So basically, he starts off talking about how they're building ships for Squadron 42, and then he goes in to talk about 3.0 and why I ask him the question like, what is great about 3.0? What do you want? I think that we're going to get. What are you most excited about for 3.0? And he basically says it. So I don't know if you've got the clip and the picture, Jaylee.
I've downloaded him. I just need to add the pic because you didn't tell me about the pic and that.
No, that was my fault. That was my fault, guys.
Let me just add the image. So carry on talking, guys, about it. Those who know about what this audio clip's about, and whilst I just add an image over this. Somewhere.
Yeah, like I said, he did a very long. Came onto Oxford stream with myself. I mean, me and Kyros were already in there having a chat, and then JD popped in. And then proceeded to just give us a rundown of a lot of really insightful information, the background behind a lot of things. He answered a really interesting question, which I don't know if I've clipped on this, but he answered the question about Miles Eckhart's jacket and why Miles Eckhart's jacket changed, because originally Miles Eckhart's jacket wasn't that actual one with the fur collar and stuff. That was actually meant for another character. That wasn't meant to be for
Squadron character, wasn't it?
Yeah. And so they ended
more like
up
a flight jacket. Is it the fur one?
Yeah, the original one from Gamescom. That was a placeholder from another character that they were building. So they needed something quickly to put on the character Miles Eckhart, so they put that on him. And then the new one that they've done, but the new one he said is not the correct one either. Like they've polished and refined it, and they've worked on it. So and the animations and stuff. So like they're very much aware that the hands and the arms and it just looked wrong, and the shoulders they look wrong. But again, for time and speed and stuff, they just had to give us something. So. But there you go. So there you go. That's the story. So that was a really cool, insightful piece of information. And he's given us other insightful, like I said, there's other bits and bobs, which I'm still in the middle of clipping the whole kind of interview down so that I can try and post it up somewhere, because it was really good. Like what he said was a lot of information that, you wouldn't get elsewhere. So there he is, Jeremiah Lee. Woo!
Chili peppers.
Yeah.
There we go.
Character concept. Anyone doesn't know, obviously, who Jeremiah Lee is. I mean, most people will know who he is. But there you go. Concept artist.
Is that when James Pugh interviewed him years ago?
Yes. So I don't know if he's...
You know what image you should have got, mate? Him wrapped up in a blanket going, my name is Jeremiah Lee. My name...
I just grabbed it 5 seconds before we came on, because I was like, I just realised people might not know. Some people might come on and go, who the hell is that person talking? So I was like, quickly grab a picture. So have you got the... so it's the first one, and it's called Talking. It's the very first one called...
Talking.
J. Lee...
Like 3 minutes 45, yeah?
Talking. Yeah. 3 minutes.
Right, we need to be quiet on this, because I don't think it's going to be that loud. I've tried turning it up, but it's not going to be that loud. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
If it's not that loud, guys, what we'll do is when we post the videos up, we'll probably put it in the chat as well somehow. I'll probably load it up on the Mixcloud with the audio and all that.
Yeah, I'll try to. Yeah, unfortunately, this was the loudest.
Right, let's give it a go. Let's press play.
Ships. We're not just building ships for the PU. There's also ships for Squadron, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of those ships, we don't put it on the schedule just yet. I think we said eventually we're going to announce like our squadron schedule and blah 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 in our schedule. I think that's what we said. I'm not sure, but there are ships that are required for Squadron 42. That is not necessarily something that the players will be able to play on. And some of these ships are just massive. Like for instance, we all know like the King ship, for example, right? That's just. It's like, what, 2.5 kilometers long, 2 kilometers long? It's just a city on a ship flying in space. Whoa. That's what the King ship is, pretty much.
Yeah.
And we have to build that simultaneously while we're making the Hurricane and, the Cutlass. And just things like that are happening together. And so it's not like... How do you say? We're moving as fast as we can. We're trying to, and we've made this pipeline that's as efficient as possible. Wow. But there are also ships that a lot of the fans might not be aware of that are being made simultaneously. So some of our resources are split up for Squadron ship, but I would say a big majority are focusing on the PU ships. I would say.
I was going to ask, just because you don't get this opportunity very often. What are you most excited for us lot as the players to see in 3.0?
The thing that I am the most excited about is, and scared at the same time, is the player and NPC relationship and the interaction. That's the thing that scares me the most, because for the first time in 3.0 we'll have, mission givers, but they're not just mission givers. Like, we want the quest to actually be part of, the universe, and for the AI to be, as we say, AI, and for the 2.0 system to actually have an effect, and the players seeing that effect take place right in front of them, and see the repercussions of their decisions and their actions. That's what excites me the most for 3.0. And scares the living daylights out of me as well. I mean, I could easily say, oh, there's all these ships coming out, all these clothing, but that's just or landing on a planet, but that's just the surface, right? What's really the game changer for 3.0 is not the flashy stuff. It's really how the players interact, not just with the NPCs, but with the universe itself, and also other players. Because 3.0 compared to 2.0 is literally nothing compared to 3.0. The way we're building 3.0, 2.0 it's literally just the surface, right?
Yeah.
It's to be like, hey, we have local physics grid now. You can finally have multi-crew, and you can quantum jump. That's about it, right? But in 3.0, 3.0 really is, I would say, the super alpha of what Star Citizen should be, and what we are dreaming of Star Citizen to be. I would truly call 3.0 like the baby PU, like really what we want to give our fans.
That's it. You can talk now, guys. Come on, you've not fallen asleep, have you?
Oh, sorry. No, I'm listening to it.
Oh,
I thought it was, because it was the delay. You forget. You forget there's the editing. So there's delay. We have a 20-second or 30-second delay on it. So so he's just like, he was just saying NPCs are like the thing that he's most excited about. And I was like, that's exactly what the game needs to bring it to life.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, if it's like, the size. I mean, having read the, we've got the article as well. So basically, for in the chat channel, I don't know if anyone else knows, but there was a German publication, GameStar, and German publication recently visited Foundry 42 Frankfurt and produced an article for a German. I mean, it was in German. It was a German magazine and stuff. And they've actually got access to a demo of 3.0, and they were able to get in a Gladius, get the Moby Glass, fly to Delamar, and then land at Levski landing pad and wander around, and they were able to kind of have an interaction with Mars Eckhart and do all this stuff and get a railgun. And if you were interested, the video that Board has done is there. I don't know if anyone else has got anything else, but I'll link it in chat as well. But he does a good video. He kind of sums it up quite well what actually went on there. But what they did comment on was the size. You cannot truly grasp the size of this game until you actually play it. And I think what he was saying, Jay Lee was saying, is that obviously with NPCs, I think if we don't have the interaction with NPCs, if we don't have that, it will fall flat because it will be very empty and very dead with minimal people, because at the moment they've only got 24 people currently you can still fit in. I mean, maybe they'll push it to 50 possibly for 3.0. Have they confirmed?
I think for 3.0 they said it's likely to still be around the 24 mark, which I believe is going to be a case of it being very quiet apart from the main hubs. And even then, there's more hubs, like you've got Port Olisar, Grimhex, and Levski. But I think you're likely not to see anyone, which they did say anyway, that the majority of the final game will be 90% AI with 10% being real players. So the fact is, when we get into the 3.0 without AI players, other than, just spawning AI pilots, it's going to be very obsolete. You're not going to see anyone unless you go to a main landing point, because didn't they say that the missions will send you to different locations, but they will try and marry up people. So a pirate may get a mission to go and intercept a hauler while you're going to try and defend a hauler and all this sort of stuff. I don't know if that's 3.0, but in my opinion, I feel like it's going to be very, very quiet around 3.0 unless you're with friends. If the grouping with friends works well, we'll be fine because we'll have our own mates, and that's what space is like, though.
Yeah, because they were talking. Are you talking about them when they were saying about the missions where you can create a mission with your friend? You're not talking about that, were you?
Well, yeah, I mean that's obviously going to be
free
beyond 3.0. Yeah, because that's down to your Moby Glass using your you can request help, but that's not coming with 3.0, is it?
No.
What the
making missions and then adding your friends, giving them a contract kind of thing.
So it's just going to be one person takes a mission. Your friends will join you on the ship. Only you will earn the income from that mission. No one else will. But there will be salvage and stuff, and you can't even share money, but you can gift people things. You can give people things, can't you, in the game? So you can here's a box of whatever the fuck it is.
That was actually one of the questions was asked in Happy Hour, and obviously we'll come over Happy Hour a bit later, but it was one of the questions where somebody said, can you trade player to player in 3.0? And the answer is no. You can give another player a crate, and they can take that away and trade that in for the money, like you could. But you can't give players money yet. So you can't take an item off someone and then give them some cash. That's not in the game. And they're not even sure how that would work in the game, even for the future yet. Because obviously it could lead to so many things with money being able to
because I think it's the exploitation
and all sorts, isn't it?
It's the exploitation of that feature more than getting it in. I think if they could get it in, probably I wouldn't have thought it could be too difficult to do, but people would just take advantage of it and all sorts of crazy.
It's always going to be money sellers when the moment that comes in.
Well, don't forget, 3.0 is literally the starting point for the economy. So even things like buying, because they did say, didn't they, that the shops will be representative of what people have brought in to sell, like their stock wise, as well as what they've sold. So that is actually quite a big
it's like as well, didn't they say like, pirates can affect the way how much the shops have as well for sale?
Yeah, by like stopping supply runs and things. Going through, And that's, I mean, that in itself is quite a big feat for the basic economy, you know. So I'm impressed by that.
Well, so what if you wanted to transfer someone like your whole cargo hold?
What do you mean? As in,
you know how they've got
to a shop?
like players another box, right? And like whatever's in it. So what happens if you want to do that like in mass?
I don't think they
manual. It'll be manual.
Yeah, it's all manual stuff.
Your mate's gonna have to come in and pick every box up and put it in his. He's gonna take a while.
Just don't use the little boxes. You'd be there for.
Well,
ages.
that's all that's in 3.0 is the small boxes. Those 25.
No, I thought
whatever it is.
I thought there was other boxes in it as well. It's just that there's squared boxes to make them so they stack. There's just no shape.
But no, they said that the small boxes are going to be in for 3.0, but that's all we're going to get for 3.0 until they, And to be honest,
big enough to fit someone's head in.
If you notice if you've seen the Bug Smashers when Mark Bent's trying to make this fucking thing work,
he fucked it all up, didn't he?
It was Bug Smash. Or was it the one? Yeah, he did. Was it the one where we showed the split screen of 4? There was 20 boxes there, 20 standard cargo units. And it didn't even fill a corner of the Cutlass. It was just as like sporadically laid out. That's 20. The Cutlass has, I think, 6,300 standard cargo units now, according to.
Crazy. Yeah, it's massive.
I think that's where they're at in the game content because we're going to spend about 4 hours loading up the ships.
Yeah, we are. We really are.
That's the reality.
There's going to be so much gameplay because you haven't got
streaming.
There
Streaming is going to be
so
so
cargo.
Yeah. People are going to come into people's streams and be like, "Oh, he's loading up," and then they'll go into my stream and be like, "Oh, he's loading up his cargo."
He's halfway through though.
He's halfway through his. You just cycle your way through everybody until you find someone that's actually.
I tell you, when we can start paying people in the verse, just having people help you load your ship with cargo until automatic loading comes in. You're gonna be worth a bomb by doing that.
And I think in Addicted we should start having a Squire system so we can get them to go collect the crates.
Well, yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
They haven't implemented a rudimentary form of giving people some money because I know that it depends how their long-term plans are for things like bounty hunting and stuff, but to still not being able to, especially now we've got cargo running in, a whole part of cargo running is to be able to have people to fly with them to protect them, to keep their cargo safe. Now I know the Cutlass is clearly a pretty powerful ship, but still it would be nice to, for some of the other ships to be able to have continued messing around as pirates, especially as if we're talking about the game getting bigger, less combat. You want to try and bring that kind of combat in for those pilots who like their PvP and their dogfighting rather than just going into Arena Commander, which a lot of persistent universe dogfighters don't do for a reason, because they don't like the pickups, they don't like the environment, they want to play that more kind of like all or nothing style kind of
more realistic to the verse. Sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a bit disappointed that's not in, because that means that you can't transfer other than cargo, which would be fine, I guess, but then there's always the risk that if you're dealing with pirates, they might just kill you at the end of it and steal your shit after protecting you,
Well, that's it. I was talking earlier about doing this whole derelict surveying sort of thing. And I was thinking earlier on about if I was going to hire mercenaries or people to help me escort, and I hired pirates, like Addicted, I would think, well, they'll protect me. But then if they saw the booty was big enough, they'd fucking double cross me, wouldn't you?
But then they lose. Obviously, then they're not going to get your continued business. But if the booty's good enough, you tap that, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. So don't hire pirates. End of the day.
Yes, don't have mercenaries. I guess that because they don't have that. I guess this comes back to that whole. Maybe we were discussing. They just don't have the mechanics in there to be able to create like not leaderboards, but kind of have charts where you can kind of track individuals' records to check that they're, like when you buy something on Amazon. You check the last review. He robbed me.
It's reputation, isn't it? And I don't know when the reputation's coming in, but they said it would be like Uber or something along those lines, where you will have a questionnaire to fill out after you've worked for someone. And not like a stupid, like, this is going to be like 20 pages long, but it will say how you were, if you were a bit weird, if you tried to rape them, if you just wanted to talk, that sort of thing. Yeah. Maybe not as in depth as that, but yeah, hopefully no one will try and rape me. So
no.
You never know.
Pirates are going to have it good in 3.0.
Moving on.
They really are. Until like their the criminal system and everything gets further fleshed out, they're going to find it so easy.
I'm just as a pirate, if you blew up a cargo ship, you got to then go and manually collect all of your booty. And it's going to take time. It's going to be a pain in the ass.
This is someone said to me that they're going to have. This is where it brings potentially. Do you have your caterpillar with the mouth open at the front to kind of like scoop it all up as it flies through, to try and and then you're going to have to if I'm flying a Gladius, I have got nowhere to put any cargo.
You can't. I was going to say no. I won't say anything.
Well, I could try and maybe put it in the middle HUD. I suppose it's space now.
That's what I was going to say.
I could get at least one crate in the middle HUD now. It wouldn't really disrupt my view that much at all. But
balance them on your weapons. At least you know if they fall off or not.
Exactly. I mean, and also you can't intimidate the person by saying to them, "Hey, transfer me money. I won't blow up your car." I can't say to, I don't know, Kyros is transporting something. I fly in and I go, right, okay, Kyros, let's have a little bit of a parlay right now. You're carrying X amount of goods. If you aren't or you're not, it doesn't matter. You got a choice. I'll blow up your ship. How much, if you transfer over whatever, I'll just let you go. It's cool. I mean, yeah, obviously you can still quantum jump, I guess, but then there's going to be a lot of jumping and racing, isn't it? Who's got the longest amount of fuel?
Yeah.
I'm really this is what I mean. 3.0 is so exciting to see. We still haven't got the ability to interdict or stop people from getting away, so that kind of maybe answered my own question there for now, but there's a whole amount of stuff to come. It's exciting. This is what I'm excited about.
To be fair,
there's going to be a lot of camping.
When does does that interdiction come through?
Oh, 3.2, I think. But the thing is, I don't think CIG even know themselves that they're waiting to see what we do. This is the beauty of the way the game's being made. They put something in the game, we show them the majority of what happens, and then they shape it to make it so that it's more balanced. Because otherwise, you release a game, like with most games, they get released. You see the issues, but you can't do anything about it until an update later down the line.
Yeah.
CIG are changing it as we go along. So if there is a problem in 3.0, regardless of whether the mechanics are there or not, they will update it and change it as they see fit, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Iteration.
It's an iterative process.
So here's the question, because we're talking about travel, and Nubify just released a video about long range travel and how if you're on, for example, I'm in a Gladius, I ain't got nothing to do. And they talked about potentially 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, to jump to the furthest points of the game, or even maybe not, that's a lot of time sitting there. Now, I'm going to be obviously clearly more than comfortable to go and have a fap in the corner somewhere, or, go and do whatever I need to do. Maybe have a few beers. By the time I get there, I'll be wankered.
Literally.
Just like what I did there. But generally, it's, you just, I'm curious how they're going to make, like I said, it's going to be really interesting to see if you're a pilot in a Gladius or something, you're not going to want to go great distances. So you're going to have to create a local hub, or you're going to have to find the points of travel where people are going to either engage them in combat. If you're a pirate or something, you're going to have to figure out where everybody's meet. Do you know what I mean?
Camping, waiting for people. Probably.
Yeah. You're going to have to.
Where the shipping lanes are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to figure out what the paths are. So they're going to have these.
It'll probably be to the point where if they don't increase the player size, then I can see it now that pirates eventually will have to camp missions just to be able to do anything.
Yeah, and then everyone will go complaining about griefing, and it's like, well, actually, they want to play that game mechanic, so there needs to be a kind of
there needs to be a balance between all different people. Everyone who wants to play different games, play it a different way.
They're bringing some piracy missions in, aren't they? So it would be nice to see how they play out.
Yeah, and the good thing is, we'll get back to the original point, but it's going to be a case of the missions for pirates will play out exactly the same as it would for a normal person not doing pirating, but
it'll make you meet somehow
for the opposite objective. But for small ships, I guess you will have monitors and things on your ship that you can use. There will be like an in-game radio. You'll be able to, hopefully, if they get it sorted, watch TV, like watch the Saturday Ball, watch racing and so forth on your monitor. But I think ultimately it will generally be quite boring to travel in a single-seater ship long distances. I think it's going to be a case of, this is why they're trying to push more of the multiplayer. And if you are, a single-seater ship may be traveling that long distance because they're escorting a multiplayer ship, a multi-crew ship. Other than that, I think it's more the fact that they are just trying to encourage multi-crew.
Well, this is it.
You know what's going to happen if you've got a multi-crew ship? The people in the back are going to go, "Are we there yet?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think but like Exo just said, what you're saying is like, yeah, if you want to go long range, get an Idris, you can put a Gladius in the Idris, and there you go. You've got your, big org or whatever you've got. You go fly together in a big ship together, and then you can do stuff.
Find an org, yeah. I mean, to be honest, if you are not a multiplayer person, if you don't like playing with other people, what you could do is request your single-seater ship, to be sent to the location you're going to. Hop on a Starliner, and then just
cruise on the
cruise, watching whatever and getting waited on. There's a possibility.
Commander while you travel.
And to be honest, you'll have a great guide on your trips as well, because Bio will be there to guide you through.
Tour guide.
Can you put that picture up?
Everyone in chat, type in.
That's cool. That's
Biomech in lowercase, and then capitals tours.
Yeah, there he is.
The tour guide.
Can barely see it. You look a little bit like, what's the name, Yogi Bear?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to think of.
Hello, boo boo.
Lately, I've been trying to think of some subscriber goals. I'm thinking, when I get 20, I'm going to buy that outfit. I'm going to wear it on stream every so often.
It looks like you got a push up. You're kind of pressing breasts together as well.
What?
I don't know if it's just me, but it looks like kind of a female character boobs. I don't know. Just looking at it.
Feel like a boobs.
I just see boobs. Maybe it's just me.
You're waiting for the female character to come out in 3.0. That's what it
Clearly
is.
excited for the female character. Clearly, jeez, it's been a long time. He was just talking about it, and I was just like, yeah, I think it will kind of suck for, there will be a place for combat ships for close range, for not going very far, and then just a couple, you'll stay in your kind of system, and then for going any further away, you will. It talks about their whole kind of idea with their armor and stuff. I think Jay Lee actually talks about it, about they want to have a focus where if you are an all explorer, you get the benefits of being all explorer. You can't be a master of everything. So, if you focus in exploration, you'll want to have an exploration ship, or want to go far, you'll need to have that type of ship to enjoy it, So,
well, talking about exploring though, the 315P or is it the 325A? Which one's the Explorer? It's not
315.
315. Yeah. So that's a single-seat explorer ship. Now you can get out of the seat and walk around and lay in the crazy bed that just comes out of nowhere, a bit like I've forgotten the film. Anyway, there is an explorer that is a single-seat ship, but that I think has an area to move around in. You can set it going and just sort of come back to the bed area and chill out. But I just think single seat, if you're on your own, you are going to find it boring. But I think it's true to life. If you were to travel long distances in a car, you're going to be bored as fuck. You're going to be stopping off at as many little service stations, whatever, as you can, just to entertain yourself, find a hook or whatever. So, there's going to be real boring moments. And that's part of life.
So you're going to be planning, get the old AA map out and planning the route on the way, kind of like... I'm going to stop off at this solar system. We're going to stop off at this solar system. We're going to we're going to check out the sites at this place.
I'll just get my guitar out, start playing on the guitar whilst I'm traveling somewhere.
Oh, lonely star.
I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
On the road again.
And then we've got
lights.
We've got the lumberyard. They talked about it, but we won't go about it. They talked about the lumberyard. Being royalty free, he's going to save Star Citizen some money. They stripped down the engine, blah blah. It was again a video from board. It was quite good, that one. I definitely recommend if no one's seen it.
That one, out. And they all.
Yeah. Well, that one in particular I found quite interesting because it's like something I wouldn't normally find interesting. It's like the background behind the engine and stuff, and how they made the two how they made the two kind of fit. And it was really talking about how they talk about Star Yard or. I guess it's called the StarEngine, and about. I'm curious why they. Yeah, exactly. I'm wondering why they haven't just filed to make it their own now, because it's so different from. To a degree, it's so different now. They've added so much content. Surely they could make it say, "Hey, this is our own thing now."
Yeah. What was it? They said something like the code is about 90-10, or is it more than that? Less than that. Sorry, like 70-30 or something. The code between the CryEngine and the lumberyard. I can't remember. For a fact time,
It was something ridiculous like that 90%. I was like, well, surely they. I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but if something's board at 90% different, it's pretty much that's a different thing, right?
Yeah, it's not the same at all. Yeah,
it's pretty much their own.
So
yeah, if I was 90% female,
yeah,
you'd be able to tell.
No, exactly.
You are, aren't you? Oh,
yeah. Only in the bits that count. We've got another little bit that they had in the conversation is the Cyclone buggy.
oh yeah.
So this is going to be
that's
released
interesting.
concept Friday 21st.
First, yeah. And there's
July.
5 different variants.
Who's buying one?
No, 5 different options.
Well, it all depends how cool they look, but we already got bloody Noxes, so it's like Jesus, how greedy
What
are
do you
they
reckon
getting?
it's
We
going to be?
can never get too many ships.
What kind of
too many
what kind of variants of a buggy are you going to have?
Well,
Is it a buggy? Do we know it's a
okay.
buggy?
I don't think it's going to be variants. I think it's going to be like they
Well,
had. You
different
can have a Nox, 2 Noxes, a
probably
Nox
be
special
different
one,
paint
a
jobs.
Nox and a Cutlass.
Yeah,
or
5
whatever, you know.
different paint jobs. That's 5 more ships that we can count.
It's going to be a cargo hauler on the ground. I reckon.
Well, that
like-
or anti-air
Or it'll be-
On the happy,
version.
on the
Cargo variant, racing variant.
on the actual happy hour, like Discolano said 5 variants, and then quickly said, "Oh no, 5 different options." So, I think he might have accidentally let it slip. It's going to be 5 different variants, without meaning. to.
Then their variant is a loadout and a color.
Yeah, so that's what I'm
Which
saying.
is
It's
my
just gonna be
my
different colour.
variant.
You're probably
Yeah,
going to
my
have like a
variant
Chav
is
one,
not that.
Goth
Chav
one.
one.
This one
Go
comes with
fast
tank
strike.
tracks.
Yeah.
Oh what?
Tank tracks.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Maybe. Maybe it will have be a tracked vehicle. That would be very cool.
Well, I know that
I like that idea.
CJ
Hello Kitty variant.
neither confirmed nor denied that it could be Nomad variants. So kind of buggy type vehicles, or the kind of deserty
Nice.
kind of sand base. So
Okay.
he didn't say
Well,
yes or he didn't say no. So
They said that the clue they gave with the actual description was something called a tumbrel, which I googled. Oh yes, and it turns out the tumbrel is a bit like Skyrim when you first start. It's a vehicle used to transport people to, like prisoners,
Okay.
to the stocks, or it's a sort of a tipper, which is what I get from it. You're googling now, aren't you, Madness?
just a little bit, yeah.
Which made me think, it's either going to be something for prisoners in in Squadron 42, or it's
Right.
going to be something for 3.0, which is cargo orientated, because that's all we'll have in 3.0 is cargo. There's no point in making something for mining, for anything later on in the game that we're not going to be able to play or use, unless it's because they did say that things will come when they need them to come. So they'll create ships, they'll create vehicles as and when they need them, because they don't know exactly what they'll need for certain scenarios. So I think it's going to be a bit like the Ursa, maybe tracked. I really like that idea. I hope it's tracked with like more cargo space. So when you are planet side, because Chris Roberts has said he wants people to land, not be able to land at the outpost, but land away from the outpost and have to drive to the outpost. He said he wants that to be a scenario. So
Okay, that's cool.
my 2 cents. Anyway, I'm going to go for a P.
Okay,
That's cool.
have fun. Make sure you get back okay. Right, what's the next bit
Yep.
we're going on then, Manus? Because you've already got this bit already all selected. I can see you moving about for it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, as I did pretty much the document, yeah. Got the
had to-
Klaus and the Wiener laser repeater.
Okay, is this an actual clip that you want me to show, yeah?
It's a picture.
Okay.
It's a
Bring
picture,
that
yeah.
up now. That's fine.
Now I thought the Klaus and Werner laser repeater was the Badgers and the Panthers. Because aren't they made by Klaus?
I'm not quite sure what they're made from. Hang on, let me just remove this picture.
Manufacturer is
I'm gonna-
KLEWE. I don't know. I'm not good with the
Yeah,
abbreviations.
Klaus Werner.
Klaus and
Klaus.
Wiener.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Klaus. Klaus and Wiener.
Klaus
Just
and
looking
Wiener.
up the Panther now.
Because didn't they show this last time as well? Or parts of it, yeah. They look pretty nice. They're looking like they're doing a really good job on these. They look
Mate,
dangerous.
any excuse to look at black sexy guns, just gets me excited.
Yeah, they're laser. It definitely says laser repeater. And when I think that, why would you need two sets of the same weapon from the same manufacturer in the same size?
These are probably the replacement for the Panthers, right? They are. I think I heard them say that they are going to be new Panthers.
Okay.
Yeah, and they look good.
They do look good, but we'll wait and see what the sexy. So yeah, there's that. We'll go to the other one above that later, bio, because that's for another conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't get chat. I realized that was there and it should have been somewhere else. So
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
We'll get to that one later when we talk about stuff. And then, yeah, I mean, I did a huge thing about other things, but I don't want to kind of bring about. I did a whole thing about weather systems and stuff, but I think we should get on to happy hour. If I'm being honest, yeah, I think we should go to happy hour because
we should come back to the weather. And
like you said, the weather stuff. You can, if we don't do it,
we can come back to this. This was this is for planets. I did this whole thing about weather systems and like comparing the weather from Star Citizen to other games and stuff to see what kind of weathers we're excited about and stuff, and examples of some of the best weather.
I've already said
game.
Weather for me is a big rainstorm, and I'm standing inside my ship, and I can hear the rain, hear the roof.
Yeah, well, we've got all. I've got all this. Yeah, I've got all this here. So we'll come back to if we want to. We've got such good content, so we can come back to it later. If people want to talk about it, we can come back to that, guys.
I'd like to. Yeah, why not?
It should be quite cool. So, but we got happy hour. So happy hour was very exciting.
It was really good, wasn't it? Like it's the first one I've watched. Properly all the way through, like had the made the time that I've watched.
And now the weather. Sorry, that was funny. Hurricane, you got me there, man. That was great. It's like the news, and now the weather. That was brilliant. I like that.
I'll just shout. I've gone quiet again.
Really?
Yeah, it's just because I'm talking away from my mic. That's all.
Microphone.
So the very first 40 minutes you pretty much covered, didn't you, Madness? In the
yeah, so it was Will Maiden and Gareth Byrne from Foundry 42. They sat down and they discussed LTI and cargo. Yep. Now, this was really exciting because we all know about LTI, but to be honest, we don't quite know exactly how they're going to implement it in game. And they really answered quite a lot of things, but at the same time, they confused the hell out of me even more. So, because some of the things that they said, I was a bit confused with, especially regarding LTI. So, let me just read out what I've put down my notes, and then you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, and you can explain things just for me, because I am a simpleton, okay? So, all ships have insurance, either LTI or 6 months to 12 months, etc. So, when you buy a ship, you'll either get an LTI if it comes with a token, if it's a concept, or you'll buy one existing, and it'll get 6 months to 12 months. So, all ships do have a degree of insurance. So LTI, you won't pay a month. It says that you won't lose. You will have to pay a percentage of the ship's value to get it back. LTI reduced premium. And then he says, this is just like, I'm just taking some clips from what they're saying. You will get the gear and it will spawn at the station where you made the claim. So you the ship will summon option blah, blah, blah. And then it talks about high-risk players will have consequences in UEE time to get their ships back through insurance. High risks has a high chance of reward, blah, blah, blah. But what I was more interested was I didn't quite get this bit where they talked about how LTI, you won't pay a fee monthly because you've got obviously LTI, but when you lose your ship, you will still have to pay a percentage of the ship's value as a reduced premium. So you're still, even with LTI, going to have to pay for your ship.
Of course.
Well, yeah, because LTI just means you don't have to keep renewing the insurance.
Yeah, you pay insurance.
They're paying to claim the ship back quicker. That's all they're talking about.
So this is like a kind of excess. This is like an excess thing.
Yeah. So it's kind of like
making it simplifying.
Yeah. So the next section, have you finished that? Because the bit in the first box now is what you're on about. All about
go for it. I just wanted to kind of, those are the bits, and then you go and talk into it.
Yeah, so what they're going to be doing is they were talking about many ways of how the insurance is going to work for 3.0. And they were saying that they're going to be putting the price of insurance up so when you need to claim your ship back, it's going to be a higher fee just to pay, and then it's going to take a lot longer for the price to go down. So they were saying every hour it will go down roughly by 1,000 UEE. So that will take. So it's going to take a long time for that as well. And what they were saying as well, you've got a 24-hour period. So if you, on that first one, You did something and your ship blew up and you had to claim, and then you did it again and then your ship blew up. That means it's going to go up in price. So it'll be ×2 of the first amount, ×3, ×4, and ×5. What they said though, when it gets to that kind of amount, they said that just leave it for 24 hours, because if you leave it for 24 hours, it means then they kind of the insurance just forgets about it. They let it slide, and then that means you're without your ship for 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it means if you can't afford to pay that premium, because every time if you destroy your ship, then you have to pay a premium, which is a lower percentage of what it would cost to get the ship brand new. And yes, if you keep destroying that ship, then a multiplier ×1 will go up. So let's say you destroyed it, like you just said,
like in real life,
twice. There'll be a multiplier of 2 times, so you'll pay a double premium. But yeah, every 24 hours this gets wiped, so you have to wait 24 hours. It says just chill out, don't go out there and start destroying again.
Yeah, other way he said go do some mining or something. But mining's not in 3.0
yet. And then that'll get wiped, and then you can request your ship without having to pay anything. But this is the basics for 3.0.
What I do like about this, and I've mentioned this as well, because of this, piracy will become something. Because if you're going to find someone, you want to pirate them, they've got all this to think about. Like, can I afford the insurance of my ship if they blow me up because I'm not giving you my cargo? Can I be bothered to wait 24 hours to not have my ship? Do I need my ship to do other cargo runs? And does it matter if they just have my cargo this one time? So then by doing this, they're making every profession, what's coming out of 3.0, 10 times better by just changing the insurance. And it's amazing.
Take my cargo, leave me my ship, so I don't have to worry about insurance.
Well, what they're doing is they're trying to make people respect their ship. They don't want people. It's not like a vehicle in Grand Theft Auto where you crash it, you're like, fuck that, I'm going to grab this guy's. It is your ship, and you want to look after it, you want to take care of it, and you want to make sure that it does not get blown up. So it will, exactly. So it will make you think twice about engaging with someone. It may make you think twice about escaping while you've still got the chance, and that is so important, especially when it comes to griefing or piracy, as I like to call it.
Yeah,
but it's
out of a dogfight early to go to CryEngine and repair your ship instead of staying around to the bitter end.
Yeah, like we do already, because
like
you can just respawn your ship again.
But yeah, it'd be a good thing for either side, like piracy and the good side. It's a good thing for both sides, and it will make pirates think hard. It will make other players think hard about everything.
Because
people will cry more when we kill them.
My only concern with it is this, right? Okay, is that if, for example, you lose your ship and you have to wait 24 hours for your ship, okay, or it becomes very expensive. My worry is for a lot of gamers that could be striking the balance of what is the right amount of time to create that sense of love for your ship and responsibility for your ship, but at the same time still keeping people interested in the game is going to be quite hard to find. Because I think what you don't want to do is just like make, say you've got loads of ships, for example, you only got a couple of ships. If you have to wait too long, people will just do this thing, switch it off and go play something else, and may never come back. And that's the sad thing. And I don't want that to happen. You know what I mean?
They really said it's up to kind of like change. So they're going to put it in like this first. They're going to watch it and see what people say. And a lot of it so far, with the numbers going down, is they've got it from the community. Some of the ideas through the forums and stuff. So it's a matter of like seeing how it goes in play and how we react to it. And then they'll change it via that as well.
It's all up for balance, isn't it?
They've got to be careful that, because we've got so used to currently a disposable game style, so they can either do one of two things. They can be like we're drug addicts and they take away all our drugs and then lock us in a room and say, hard luck, this is the new game mode, and then we all have withdrawal symptoms, and half the people that are used to disappear and say, this isn't the game I wanted to play, I actually quite enjoy, blah blah blah, and then there'll be half that maybe will get off it and be happy with it. Or they do a slow gradual recovery program to this new system in place, so where they don't make it so it's so bad. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit more money. It's not a huge amount, but it's a bit more money. Yeah, exactly. It's easing us into it, and then they make it worse.
The insurance system is technically kind of like the same we've got now, but with a bit more life to it. It's
more robust. It's getting more robust as time goes on.
You can still pay out for your ship, if you've got the money to. So go do some missions, keep low, get some missions, get some credits in and like I said, if you're facing a pirate and you're thinking, I've got no money for this, I have to give him my cargo, then it makes the piracy role work really well. And it's all about giving intake with every single role. It works. I think this is going to make it such a big game improvement.
Yeah. Don't forget that what they're trying to do is make people think more than just play.
Yes.
And when it comes to piracy, like what Original says there, grieving is brainless piracy. So if you are a pirate, as you are, your org is a pirate, you will think about the way to approach a target. You're not just going to go in there and be like, oh, this guy's on his own, I'll fucking attack him, blah, blah, blah. You'll think about it. You'll approach him in a proper way. Cool. If you're going in there constantly just firing at everyone, you will lose your ship, and they need to punish that because that is griefing.
Mm-hmm.
If you are planning an attack on someone, then they need to make sure that you make the best attack that you can on that person. So it is just about making sure you think about what you're doing. So if you have an attack that you want to plan, if you see a hauler carrying a lot of stuff, you're not just going to go up there and start shooting at him. You're going to call in your friends, you're going to get it going, and you're going to sort it out properly. You're not just going to go run around shooting people. It's just that will give you no benefit. And that is kind of what they'll class as griefing. If you're just every time you come across someone and you shoot them, that's griefing. So it is exactly about making people think. And that is what it is. It needs to be punishing for people who do that. Not piracy. A proper pirate will take his time, he will pick his target, and he'll organise a proper attack.
Well, if you think about grieving, is if they do it from the bat, they're not going to have any money to kind of respawn their ships.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to get any money from grieving.
No, exactly.
I think griefing, you have to be careful because everyone thinks griefing slightly differently, and
there are many different variants of grieving, but pirates, if how I stream is I try and stream how I would like us to kind of act when it comes to piracy in reverse when we can, and that would be I try to immobilize the ship. I don't try and destroy it. I try and take the engines off, the weapon systems off, so then I can approach the ship and get inside the ship and take the cargo. That is what I'm aiming to do, and that's what I've been practicing. So I don't aim to kill, I aim to immobilize, and that is what everyone, and most pirate orgs, but you can see that's what they're doing. Well, there is some obviously that just wants to kill and then just take the cargo, and
they will get punished. They will find that they will struggle in the game because of certain ways to make it. It's like real life. If you just go around mugging everyone you see, you'll get arrested quickly. If you plan your target, you'll get away with it. And Greater Cheese has asked about the reputation affecting insurance for pirates. Pirates will have their own type of insurance from syndicates, like the mafia kind of style insurance.
Insurance comes up in a minute as well. I think that's next.
We're talking about insurance, aren't we?
Yeah, we're on it. We're on insurance right now.
No, I mean policies. There's another bit about policies that what they're bringing in.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's but they're doing lots of different things, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Which is quite. I mean, the guy did say, doesn't want you sounding like an insurance salesman, but he really was sounding like an insurance salesman because it's obviously a whole game mode. It's becoming it's a big thing because they actually overcomplicated. They made it a lot more complicated because they introduced this lifetime insurance thing, and they could have probably saved themselves a lot of hassle with that. I think they dug a bit of a hole.
Yeah,
I think having
that kind of went downhill.
Multiple ships is going to help out people a lot in this regard, because if your first ship gets blown up, then you lose that income source. If you've got a backup ship, like if you lose your freelancer, you may have a combat ship that you can go and do a combat mission with while the freelancer's premium is ticking away.
Yeah.
If you're earning money that way,
you're going to be like, fuck.
If you've only got one, you're screwed, like Madness was saying earlier.
Wow.
You lose that too many times.
And Rambo was saying, imagine I'm a streamer and I've only got one Aurora, and I have to wait a couple hours and I'm streaming the game for the first time, and I'm like live on stream, and then I get blown up by somebody, my ship's gone, and then I've got like a 2-hour wait. Well, that's the end of my stream, boys. Goodbye.
No, it's not. You can do loads of stuff without having a ship. Don't forget, you can live on a planet without even moving off the planet. You can ask someone else to fly for you. You can hire an escort.
Say if you're new, though. I mean, I understand if you're not new, if you know what you're doing, but if you're new and you don't really interact with it, I mean, it could force you to interact with people. Could bring that on. I agree.
It will, but yeah.
It would. But I think the knee-jerk reaction, I'm talking about that first reaction, it could be quite. To some people, they might be just like, "Oh, well, this is boring."
But again, it will encourage people to think more about what they're doing. If you go off in your only single ship and start attacking people,
3.0 will make people start thinking about orgs as well and multiplayer, definitely, because they're going to.
We will see. Is the way. I guess we'll wait and see. We'll find out. Hey, and they've got all this lovely balancing to do. So what's next on the insurance?
So it's all about insurance and that. So basically, what I was saying a minute ago. It's 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, LTI. It's basically all the same. It's just that, obviously, the LTI you don't have to keep going and renewing. So it all gives you the very basic loadout. So when you first purchase your ship from the store, that is all you'll get. You will not get any special weapons back. You won't get any special modifications back you do to it. Now, this is when they were saying that they're going to try and bring something. They were planning to bring it out for 3.0, but they're not sure that is actually going to make it for 3.0, more 3.1 onwards. And that's something called policies. And the policy is where you can actually change the aspect of your insurance. So you can have a basic insurance, but add it so that you're a racer. So it covers your racing engine, the modifications you've done to your ship to make it faster to race. So when your ship blows up, you've got everything covered, what normally would be expensive to replace on the basic insurance. And this will give some kind of special features for each thing, because they're going to think about doing this for piracy as well. Piracy will have their own special policies, and there'll be black market policies. There'll be ones that you can be more legit. There'll be ones for bounty hunters. So when you get such to a higher tier of bounty hunting and you've done really well, you get more special offers to kind of say thank you for your work. So this whole policy system is going to bring some amazing kind of difference to, and bring some more life to the insurance. So
it's the reputation system, isn't it? As you grind up your reputation in whatever field,
way, but it's also going to bring some kind of its own kind of individual characteristics in the insurance to individual professions.
Yeah, it's like real life insurance. If you in a particular job, your insurance will be different to someone who's not in a job at the other end of the spectrum. So there will be insurance for a cargo hauler who is not expecting to get into combat and not wanting to get into combat. But then there'll also be insurance policies for someone who, like a bounty hunter or a mercenary, someone who is 80% likely to get into combat every single day of every job that he takes, and it will cover him for that. It's the same with racers. They said that the racing ships, if they're pushing their ships to the limit all the time, I
really like it how they're giving us that customizability of something so simple as an insurance. And then they're bringing that and putting that into our hands to choose our level of cover. That's something you don't see in many places.
It will be annoying though if they're filling out forms and signing on the dotted line and for fuck's sake, I've got 30 ships now. Although they did say fleet insurance as well.
Yes.
So they did. Fleet policies. So if you have a big fleet of ships and you don't want to be spending all your time insuring each ship for each role, blah blah blah. You will be able to cover your whole fleet. Now, how specialized that will be for all areas, I don't know. And obviously, if you try and cover it for fire damage, pirate damage, blah, 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 it's going to cost a lot more. But it's good that they are, like you say, they're having all these different policies for different scenarios. And it's not just going to be one for everything. That was my fucking keyboard. Sorry about that.
That's right. So obviously we all know with Happy Hour it's all about asking questions to the teams. So there were some decent questions. This one wasn't so. It's for you Aurora fans. Basically, one of the people asked about the external cargo on Aurora. Is it going to be usable? And obviously, as we've seen with the Bug Smashers, how badly they found to try and make that work. They're having even more problems with the Aurora outside, because if you think about it, before they're having problems with the way both the planet, the solar system, and that ship's individual code would work with each other. And now, when you're outside the ship, you're actually on the planets, and there's no way to tell that planet that you're still part of the ship. So they're finding that very difficult to integrate. They're still trying their hardest to get that in 3.0, but they will notify us if it's not going to be.
That was a big problem, wasn't it? And you can see even Mark was pulling his hair out, and there was other developers around him, like Jared and stuff, trying to help, just trying to sort of like 2 days later, wasn't it, that they started filming. 2 days later, they finally got the problem sorted. And even then, the character did that strange whoop when he put the box down. It's obviously a very big, difficult thing they've got going, because they can't distinguish the difference between planets and the object container of a spaceship. Well, they can, and they're working on it, but there was a bug within that. So they're showing us how they managed to figure that bug out, and it seemed like a very, very difficult one.
This is why the shit gets delayed, because it's just it's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. If it was easy, we'd all do it.
It would be out by now.
One of the next questions was asking about racetracks and if the Grim Hex racetrack will be open for 3.0. They basically turned around and said, this is a pipeline item. Most likely won't be for 3.0, but they are trying. But then
a lot of stuff.
But then they did go, but they did go on about surface racing maps. And this is basically what they're trying to say is they're taking the moons they've got now, and obviously it's a massive surface on these moons, and they're trying to find canyons and places where they can set up checkpoints, and we can just go there and set up our own races.
We can already. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I was Uber Nerd's been doing it with his cat when he had the free caterpillar for all the people. We were doing. He just made a little track, and then you just looped around it, and it was actually quite fun and quite easy. So I really think that we can do our own races. We can fill that gap in whilst they figure it out.
It would be cool to have our own, be able to put down our own checkpoints as well. That would be awesome. To be able to.
I think eventually it would be cool if they can give us the option to create our own racetracks. Obviously, they'll have their official ones like the Murray Cup or whatever the pod racing will be, but they also said that, just going back to something before we jump back to that again, they said that you could fit the Witcher 3 map in one crater on the moon. So one of the craters that we saw on the moon
that's crazy.
Is the space of one of the Witcher 3. But yeah, I think when it comes to racing, like I said, when we come to streaming, when we come to YouTube videos, and the game in itself, a lot of the content is going to be player driven. A lot of like requesting on your Moby Glass is going to be player driven missions that people can accept. There'll only be so much percentage that CIG make officially, and that will include racetracks. But also we will create our own. I plan to fly down there with a caterpillar full of Noxes and dragonflies or whatever, and do our own little racing. Just put another ship so far off.
That's what I did.
Put another ship somewhere else.
Some races when the Nox and all that comes out.
You just make it up as you go along.
Yeah, exactly. And you can just have, and also there'll be features on the map that will be that's a corner. There you go there. That's a corner. Take a left there. No, it's not hard.
Yeah, you can just have people stand to sort of flag, as a waypoint. Take a people waypoint. Just don't kill them.
Getting in the way.
Weapons-free racing.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what we're doing. We're doing a pirates race with the dragonflies and the Nox, and it's going to be weapons-free. It's going to be quite cool. The next thing they were talking about is the tool called Solid. I think that's what it's called.
Solid.
Yeah,
Solid.
Okay.
Solid.
There we go. I spelt it wrong. I put solid.
Solid.
So basically, this is obviously how they create their solar systems. There will be a live demo in the next happy hour in 2 weeks' time. They're going to get Gareth on again, and he's going to literally make a solar system with all the planets within the happy hour, and it's going to be pretty cool. And he's going to let the chat name the planets as well.
Well, that's dangerous, isn't it?
That's not going to work out.
That's really dangerous. Hairy
the
scrotum.
Happy hour system or something like that. That's what they're going to call the
Name the planets Red 1, Red 2, Red 3.
Red 1 should definitely be the name of it. That would be hilarious.
Gold. Oh, God. Can you imagine?
And then there was, I think missions will be having modularity, meaning plenty of different endings from the same core mission. That's what we've been talking about.
You know, someone's going to say that really tiny one that looks like an asshole. We'll name that one Derek Smart.
And then they confirmed in the happy hour that mining is not coming for 3.0.
They did.
So they confirmed that in the happy hour, and I literally went sad face, on that one.
So that means, because you said this, right? So that means no mining,
But will the Prospector be in for 3.0?
Yes, the Prospect is still going to be out. It's still going to be flyable. You're still going to get the feel of the ship. I think that's what they're planning to. The reason why mining hasn't come out in 3.0 is because they got to get, the cargo system has been major problems, as we saw in the bug smashes. That took him 4 days to fix on it. Like after he messed it up, it was 4 days gone, and then they managed to fix the problem. But then they still got to fix the lean. So they want to make that whole cargo system fully working, fully smooth before they can even add in that you load it with commodities from mining and stuff, you know. So that
so long as we can still use the mining laser on things, that would be great.
I think the most exciting thing is I think for people like someone was getting obviously like, oh no mining in 3.0. I wouldn't get too worried. I think if they can deliver, the Delta patcher, who knows, they could get it in quicker.
Yeah.
Because once the Delta patch is in, they might be able to get.
They're literally waiting for the cargo system to be done, guys, and then it'll be out. Literally.
Yeah, then they'll move on to the next thing.
Well, what they're working on now, I think they've got the cargo system pretty much working. They're working on optimization and UI. That seems to be the biggest holders. So optimizing, obviously, to try and get it as smooth as possible for the for as many people. Well, to the party system, hopefully, is involved in that. Probably not, but yeah, UI is behind on the schedule. I think we've only got maybe 1 or 2 UI people like Zane.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to get as much of the UI, because obviously when they introduce new assets, new cockpits and things, UI is a big deal about it all. It may not be exciting, but it's all part of it. And the same with the kiosks, the same with the little monitors and the kiosks and the shops. It all plays a part in it. And
they're almost
2 people working on it.
They're almost the end of the kind of the if you look at it, like if in film and stuff, if you look at it, you have the editing at the end and the sound and all the rest of it. And I almost feel in terms of in their pipeline, these guys who do the UI, it almost feels like they have to wait for everybody else to finish to amount of their work before they can then get their UI on to all these new displays, item 2.0, all the rest of it. They have to kind of wait for all this stuff, and then they can get on the UI and deliver. And like you said, if they've got a small number of people, I mean, I think Jay Lee was saying that shipbuilding has somewhere in the region of about 30 people, whereas UI
25 to 30.
Yeah. So whereas UI's got how many people on it? 4, 5.
I know Zane. I don't know anyone else.
Yeah. So
I mean, have more people working on it, don't they?
Resources wise, it doesn't sound it's anywhere near. So
so then, the next bit they were going on, this is a really good question that they asked, and this is where people have been saying, no, they're not going to do it. And I've been telling people, yes, they are. And I knew I heard it somewhere, but they've confirmed it now. And it's all about persistence. Will you be able to log out of your ship on a planet and log back in where you were inside your ship? And the answer is yes. So what they're going to be doing, this is all about using the bed. So if you land on a planet and you sleep in your bed and log off, then you'll come back in your bed in the same place. But if somebody sees you land, they were saying, and then they go to investigate and land exactly within a certain of your area of your ship, and they would clip if you log back in, it would move you just like 5 meters to the left, kind of thing. But you'll still be on the same place roughly. They were also talking about how, because somebody asked them the question about if you don't have a bed. And this is kind of thinking, like, they were saying that they might just put this in for 3.0. And I'm thinking, don't start now. This is my own personal, but don't start now. The whole point of not having a bed is, yes, you're going to have to make your way back if you need to sleep and log off. That's the whole point of those small fighters.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, why can't they then take it one step further? There's kind of
tent,
empty
sleep bag,
you can't camp on a moon.
Well, they're gonna have outposts.
You can't breathe on the moon.
You're gonna have what do they call an outpost?
Sleeping bags could be quite modern. We could have a modern.
900 years in the future, they're gonna have sleeping
what
bags.
I mean is you've got the abandoned
emergency shelters.
Thank you.
Surely I put this question on their YouTube channel on the happy hour, and I'm hoping I get a response. And then when I do, guys, I will let everyone know. I'll put it all over Twitter and stuff. But I'm hoping. Well, basically, what I asked is, why can't you make it so if they land near and abandon one of these huts and they know there's a bed in there, they can go in, the door shuts behind, and they lie in the bed. Why can't that make them spawn back? That's what That's what
the outposts. Like what Kyros says, there's going to be the emergency outposts where you will be able to land and take refuge and save. And basically, what they're trying to decide is whether a bed means you can log off and log back in that area, or no bed. And I personally think you should have a bed, but obviously if you've traveled 20 minutes or however long trying to get to one location to explore, and your game crashes, you get killed, or whatever. Sorry, not you get killed. You want to log off. Yeah, the baby starts crying, or your wife wants to go shopping, or whatever. Yeah. You're going to be like shit.
Relationships are going to be destroyed. Saying, just give. I need 15 minutes to land this sucker and get into my bed. Okay,
15 minutes, like 20 minutes
as well. I think it's going to be the same with space. If you get into your bed in space, it should be fine. So if your missus is going, "Hey, come on, go, let's go," I'm like, "Hang on a minute, love. Just wait."
It's why they've got brought in the autosave. You don't have to go back to a house.
Get into the
She's left. The dogs have gone. The house has got empty, and you're
you're
still trying to learn. Then you wake up, and you go, "Oh crap!" And you just sat there like with nothing in the house. It's all taken.
You can vape when you like, man.
You're like, and then secretly you go, "Get it." I mean, Star Citizen ruined her.
Oh no. I miss her.
No, I personally think you should need a bed. I think it's kind of a really good game mechanic that will encourage people to log off.
People want to get bigger ships.
Well, true.
Yes. Yeah, well, it will.
I agree. A bed is absolutely necessary. It's been something that they've been talking about since the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Don't change it for the newbies.
Like I said, like I was saying, I totally agree with you, Ron, as well. It needs to be implemented so that logging out of, maybe if you crash, then they can set up so that the server knows that you've just dropped out.
Yeah, I think if they have like a time delay, so if you come out of the game, if you can log back in quick within the space of 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, and then you can log back into where you were, that's like a safe zone.
But they're still looking for people. I think they're still looking for ideas on this from the community, so that kind of thing. Find it. I think it's all over it's probably on the spectrum somewhere.
It's all about exploitation. Again, this is the thing. It's all about stopping. There will come a point when it will just have to be hard shit. Basically, I think they even said that it will come a point that'll be just tough. It's just tough. I mean, sorry,
it's not a simple game. It's not a game like
it's tough.
Any other. You can just log off and hope for the best. Even DayZ has that sort of.
There will have to be. There will have to be that. But again, we'll wait and see. This is all great stuff. I'm really excited to see where they're going to go with it. That's for sure. We get to be part of it, which is the best bit.
Vote if you can. If there's a link anywhere.
Well, they said it.
Beds.
They said it all the time. Our input. I think Lara what's his name? I forgot his name. Got his name wrong.
It's
Jared was saying that we will have a voice, so we use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's two things that I was pretty shocked because I thought they were actually going to have it in for 3.0 because they were showing it off. And there's going to possibly be no day and night cycle, and there's possibly going to be no rotation in the moons.
Yeah, it's quite disappointing. I didn't realise they were that far away from not having it implemented.
I think the moon rotation, that's fine as long as you get the day and night. You just got to get that. They
have been showing us how impressive the day and night thing is for months now since pretty much season gone.
So a lot of people are like, it's going to be. It's not.
So at not to have that in,
it's not going to be. Well, they are still trying to get it sorted because it's under experimentation as the result would like it in 3.0. Can't make any promises, so it's being tested. There's a lot of testing on it. Same with the moon rotation, that is being tested as well.
It was something I thought was a given for 3.0, and that shocked me. It wasn't.
That makes planets come to life. The whole
you saw that freelancer in the derelict ship sort of sped up thing. The time lapse of the freelancer derelict as the sun goes up and the night sky comes in. You can see the stars going past. I honestly thought that was just part of Soled. It was already a thing.
Yeah. That's not.
Apparently not. Yeah.
But no, it's a shame though because I have a video idea of making a time lapse of going around the planet, and that would have been beautiful if it went to day and night. But now it's just going to be, if it's just going to be constantly day and there's going to be no rotation in the distance, it's going to look rubbish.
Yeah,
I need to wait for it.
It's a shame, but hopefully, fingers crossed, they get it into 3.0. Yes. It will be a massive feeling.
Hopefully that's why it's been pushed back because this AtV came out before they pushed it back a week, didn't it?
I'm fucking happy for them to push it back if they can get day and night cycles and orbit. I suppose it's the same thing, isn't it? if an orbit comes, then the day and night cycle will happen anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, what would be interesting if they came to us and they were to go, okay, guys, we've got 3.0, it's ready to go, but the only thing we haven't got finished, and it could be another 2 weeks, is the day and night cycle.
To be honest, now when you put it like that, yeah, I'd hard take 3.0. After what I just said,
I think the reality is if they said to them, but we do have the Delta Patcher, and when it's ready, we'll be able to do a quick hot fix with it and drop it in. I'd be like, yeah, just give us 3.0.
I think I'd wait. If the Delta Patcher, they say about the Delta Patcher, yeah, then I'll take it. But if it's not going to be a Delta Patcher and it's going to be about a week, I would wait for it. Like, personally.
Well, I think that's the thing. The Delta Patcher will will change the whole patching system. This whole 3.1, 3.2, that will change because items that we see in 3.2 or 3.1 will just be able to be dropped. Ships, weapons, spacesuits, clothing, game mechanics, all that sort of stuff will be able to just be dropped in quickly rather than waiting for big patches because it costs them so much to download a full patch because they have to send it out to everyone, all these packages. So yeah, I would love to see how the whole 3.2, 3.3, 4.0, whatever changes with this Delta Patcher or whatever the fuck it is. Is it Delta Patcher? Because I think I get told off when I say that.
Brian calls it something else, but then I've heard them refer to it as Delta Patcher by many of the guys there. So I'm just like, do you know what? It's Delta Patcher. Let's see what it's called. So it's a lot easier to remember than the other one that they use. It's a lot.
That is happy hour covered. So I think with the time we've got left of this, I think we should crack on with ATV.
Yeah, we do.
All I can say is that Madness has done a bloody good job this week. He has pretty much done most of it because obviously Miserable G's away. This is my working week.
Lazy wanker.
Solitary had his own reason as well. I managed to crack on with
Lazy
doing a bit
wanker.
as well, but in the end.
Oh no! Don't say so short. Don't say so.
No. But I'm trying to say that well done this week, mate. You did a bloody good job. Really good job. And
I can see this. Hang on. The smoke is coming out my ass. That one. Sorry. Great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, to be honest, it's great. I actually enjoy doing it when there's a lot of this content to talk about. When there's nothing to do, I don't mind actually going away and trying to come up with other things to talk about. But this week we had a lot of really good stuff. So on to the LA update. So 3.0 Persistence Data Manager, helping improve storage, modified access while playing, see between physics and legal ownership. So they've done all this persistence basically, which is what you were talking about, Bio, as well. It's done. They've done the persistence. It's there. It's ready to go.
Needs to be in.
What this enables us to do, and also what they're working on, is it's kind of weird that because they talk about persistence, but then in the same breath they talk about how they're using this to allow for parking in ships, which I guess is persistence within ships of other objects like a Nox, for example, or a Dragonfly or something, another vehicle that goes inside. Like we are a vehicle technically, so it has to be the ships have to have a persistence as well inside a Cutlass or whatever. So it kind of got me interested, and so there we are. So we have the Nox video here that Bio's got, which is very, very cool. We've also,
of course, next time you call up the ship, then it will have the Nox in it as well, so it's not just calling up one ship, it's calling up two.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it at first because it takes me a bit of time to figure out this stuff, being a simpleton and all. But this. But once I kind of got it, I was like, "Oh, well, that makes sense." I'm learning a lot about game development just from this game. It's incredible. I'm sure we all are.
When you land a ship inside a ship, and then you log off, when you come back in again, you recall that ship. Everything that you left your original ship in will be the state that you get it back in. So damage, ammunition, and whatever the fuck you put inside. So if you leave Miserable just shitting in the corner, when you log back in again, he's going to be in that cotton. No, he's not going to be. He'll be angry.
He'll be there covered in shit.
Did you notice?
You do to me?
Did you notice? I think we talked about this as well on Oxford's things. Did you notice looks like the automatic landing inside when you see it flicks on inside the Cutlass, and it looks like automatic landing on the screen.
It is, yeah.
And it's but he lands it manually because it's not in the center. And first thing I was like, look at the size of it. It looks like you could fit 4 Noxes in this thing, not just two on both sides. Could probably squeeze in next to each other. To be honest,
I think those landing pads are also the cargo bays, so they will clamp the cargoes. The Dragonfly will be centered, I don't think it's. I mean, you could probably fit 2 Dragonfly in there if you spread them out. But obviously, if you put stuff in there like a Nox, you won't. You'll lose that cargo space, so you won't be able to put your cargo in there.
Yeah, well, you'll probably be able to put it in there, but not safely. Like it's
yeah, it won't clamp it to the ground.
It'll go all over the place and probably ricochet through you and then kill you. So,
do you think that you could fit it sideways, horizontal, and have it clamp the nose for a longer vehicle or something? So
no, I think it's got to fit within the box. I don't think it's more a case of
you can clamp the nose
in there. I think it's got to literally fit within there, and then it'll clamp it. If it's outside at all of that box,
even if it's going into another box
problems
and being able to be, you won't allow it to clamp one note and another.
If there's anything outside the box, I think it voids the whole clamping. Just on a game perspective, I don't know, but I think if anything's outside, it won't be within that area, that designated area for clamping. I could be wrong, but I think gameplay-wise or game development-wise, that's the likeliest option.
Yeah. How many times are we going to crash getting in? It's going to be hilarious when someone pulls. This is what's going to happen is you're going to have your mate. He's going to pull a fast one on you. You're just about to come in, and he's going to do what Bio did the other day when I was trying to get in the back of the ship. He's going to be thrusting away or reversing or moving to the left and be like, "Oh, what's wrong? What are you doing? Why aren't you getting in? Come on. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you?" You'd be like, "I can see your thrusters, you fucker. Stop moving."
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to have some kind of automatic landing mode for that kind of stuff. I think so. It looks manual, but
it's going to be funny.
I think it's going to be exactly the same as the landing mechanic we have on landing pads, where you can, if you get close enough or within the designated area you can press N and hold N or whatever, and you'll be zoomed in. But again, all this is speculating. We don't know. We've not been confirmed. If we've been confirmed, we'll say it's confirmed. If not, I'm fucking bullshitting most part. But I think there will be an automatic and a manual. But they say they did say a while ago that the challenge would be to do it manually. They said you can do it automatic, but the challenge would be to do it manually. And you just don't let Miserable anywhere near the controls.
He'll crash it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen his piloting.
Yeah.
No, maybe that's just the Aurora though. Maybe you just can't fly those. So.
Yeah, don't let him near an Aurora.
You'd still have to manually take it out because we don't currently have an automatic unlanding option, do we?
Well, no, you haven't seen that, so maybe they're still working on that part.
No, press the spacebar too hard, and you're going to be going straight into the ceiling.
Yeah, you feel it.
We've had an automatic takeoff where if you press the button, it will lift you up from the pad. But I think they changed that when it came into 2.6, did they?
Oh, can you imagine? Honestly,
well, obviously you've still got it in with if you use voice attack, you can still say takeoff and it'll take off. You just got to find the key command.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of. I can just see a lot of ships bouncing around inside other ships and explosions going.
Yeah,
crazy.
Insurance companies are going to make an absolute fortune.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying in terms of this patch. They need to be very gentle with their system of don't punish too much because they clearly won't. There's going to be a lot of claiming on a lot of ships. So don't
What happened?
You're not just claiming insurance on your Cutlass. You're also claiming it on your Nox bikes that were inside.
You don't need to be waiting a week for your ship.
Oh, you just reminded me. What they did say about policies as well. I forgot about this. Is that eventually you're going to be able to put them on your org. So you can have one policy for all your members in your org, and you can have a policy on all your ships. One
that's cool.
For all ships.
That's very cool. So if you're a big org like Test, you'll get a discount.
You'll there'll be a basic cover, but then it depends on how they're going to work it. So if everyone then starts claiming on that, how's it going to affect the org's insurance?
Do you think the org has a really good reputation?
Do you think they'll have like insurance adverts and stuff?
I reckon they will do. Yeah, I reckon they would. And they'll probably have some black market adverts saying, "I come here and get some cheap ones or whatever." So yeah.
Brilliant. So the next thing is now. This is I've now figured out what's happened to all.
I think we should move on from this point because it's just going to make you get angry.
No, I'm not going to get angry because I'm done. But this shows where all of the Gladius HUDs have disappeared to, guys. So if anyone was curious, what happened to all the HUDs, the middle HUDs on the Gladius, we now know where they've all gone.
Here we go.
Basically, Drake has siphoned them all off and has shoved them onto the cuds in the Cutlass.
The what?
I've never
the cuds.
The cuds. I was trying not to swear. There was a con, and then it was stopped. Into the Cutlass. So there it is. If you look at that Cutlass, look at that. There they are. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 HUDs on the Cutlass.
Nice.
There's 8 there.
Oh, 8 is it? 8, yes.
Is
That's
it?
what I'm saying. No, it looks like 1, 2,
Yeah, because
3.
there's that one in the very right corner, that little tiny thing.
Oh, yeah, so there you go. So,
Why
there you go.
is
So,
that? That's weird.
so the Cutlass has got 8 HUDs, whereas the Gladius has got 2. At the top that you can see, it's got 4 in total, I know, but... Oh, my days. Anyway, so I thought that was quite funny. That I was like, wow. That's a lot of... I don't know if that's... Yeah. There's a lot of repeats there, obviously. I mean, if you can see the HUDs have repeat placeholder images on there, but if that's legit, that's a lot of HUDs.
A lot of HUDs.
Well, you know, Cutlass is bigger now, so yeah, needs some more. Got some room for some more HUDs.
Well, I guess it depends. I guess I'm interested to see where the other pilot's sitting. If you're sharing HUDs with the other pilot, that would make sense.
Does the pilot of the Cutlass, the co-pilot, only have one screen, doesn't he?
These guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. Oh my god!
Because we saw that in action, didn't we? I'm not sure if it was the latest AtV or the one before that, but we saw that exact HUD being used planet side, where they're moving things around like the.
Oh my days!
Did I miss out on something?
Seriously, if that's the case, then the anvil bias is genuinely legit. That's. Okay, moving on. So we've got cargo degradation. So. Unless you can, if you want to find that and confirm it, that would be awesome. But if I carry on talking about HUDs, I will just flip. So we'll move on to cargo debris because this is really, really cool. Okay, so this is what.
Well, sorry. This is when I saw this, mate.
Sorry, it's fine. Talk over me. It's all you like. It's fine. No problem. Carry on.
No, sorry. I just, you know what I'm like when I quickly have something in my head, I forget. One thing I've always said, like I always worried about piracy in 3.0 is it's just going to be you have to kill to get the cargo. But now the way they've done it, it's just beautiful, isn't it? It's really good.
What this does is this opens up to, like I was saying, in terms of like if you're going to have your mate to kill something and to get the reward, unless you're getting a bounty off killing the person individually, to get the loot, the cargo, or whatever you want to make it profitable, you're going to have your mates nearby. You're going to have someone to be able to collect, or you're gonna, I'm just curious how they're gonna make money from this and also I'm interested to see those, when things fall off ships at the moment, they go for miles and they never stop because obviously there's no gravity, there's no resistance. So with these things, I'm just wondering, you pick up one box, take it back to your ship. By the time you got back again to get the next one, how far away is it going to be? 10K, 20K, 40K? Yeah. You're going to be, what I mean? It's like I'm guessing they're going to have a degree of a distance that these can't travel any further than, surely.
Well, no, I think what they've done is they've slowed down the explosion. So a ship will explode, and before it was crazy, wasn't it? It's like it went flying, and there was bits that possibly hit you, and it was just random. But now I think what they've done is they made it so that, like, you can see it's a lot slower compared to what a Cutlass would normally explode at the moment. So that there will be time to actually collect most of those crates.
Yeah, if you've got multiple people, and like Rambo says, that's a ship-destroying pistol. Three shots on the Cutlass from that pistol, boom.
Yeah, I want one of those.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna. This comes back to the planning your attack kind of thing. You're gonna, if you're planning on hitting a transport that's going through a jump area. You're going to have to ambush them. You're going to have to disable them quickly, probably in 3.0, destroy them quickly. And then you're going to have another crew of guys who are in a cargo ship come along and start scooping up the stuff. Because he's going to be back for revenge and probably a fighter, or he's going to drop a service beacon and there's going to be people coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
He's going to come back. Or, like, here's the thing is do we think that things like the tractor beam on the... Caterpillar and things like that, will they have tractor, because they talked about the tractor beam on the Reclaimer and it being fun and stuff, so that will speed up this process where you can have people on board sucking into the ships the cargo.
Did they say the tractor beam, it was just the seat that was made, the finish?
No, the tractor beam actually was one of the first items you could buy as soon as the hangar module got released back in like 2014. You can, if you notice we'll probably get to it, but that derelict ship lost and found thing they did.
Yeah.
At the very, when they're looking into the interior, that it's underground and they're just hacking into it using a blowtorch.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There was actually, you could buy as a separate item a tractor beam to attach to a small ship, and I managed to get it on my Aurora. So you can actually buy a separate tractor beam, like a small item that fits on your weapon mount. I don't think it's available on the website, but it is obviously in the plan. I'll have a quick look.
Well,
but yeah,
so I think it also came with.
Yeah, because the Cutlass is supposed to have a tractor beam, isn't it?
Well, I think a lot of ships can have a tractor beam instead of a weapon. So anything can, in that essence, have a tractor beam to a point.
What about a gun? What about a handheld little gun so you can kind of bring them all together into a little clump together or something?
Satterball, they used the handgun that was supposed to be you could shoot and then drag yourself in using that gun in Satterball. But this is sort of way off. This isn't likely to happen anytime soon.
No.
But I think, like what Kyros was saying, is in 3.0, it's going to be a case of fucking gather it as quick as you can with as many players as you can. Yeah. But eventually, it's going to be... I mean, what you see here with it exploding and coming out of the thing, if it does continually expand, which it should do, whether it will or not is another matter. Because if you look at Rex already, things have spread out and they've stopped in space. They've not continued on as as the blast would expect it to. It's going to be a case of either think or continue on, and then if you're flying through space, you may come across a random cargo box flying past.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, or it's going to be a case of they'll be expanded to a certain degree, and then you can gather them up with your friends over a space of time, however long it takes you to gather them all. I would prefer it to be the first one, where they just continue on and then they'll disappear because they can't render them any longer.
You got to have a tractor beam on ready to go.
I mean, that's true immersion, right? Because obviously there's no gravity, so naturally anything.
Yeah. No, it should just keep going. All the parts of the ship as well, all the little scrap metal bits should just continue on. But if they can do that, then that would be great. But I very much doubt they can continue them on for the rest of the game duration.
Oh,
every explosion it won't happen. It's just not going to happen. So it'll be a case of they'll expand. They'll either go all the way and then disappear, or they'll just go so far and stop in this little bubble where you can go in and collect them all with your friends. But obviously, you would prefer not to destroy the ship as a pirate. You would prefer to disable the ship, hold them hostage while you gather all the cargo, and then let them go on their way with an empty ship, because it would save you a lot of hassle.
Yeah.
And you won't have a bigger criminality reward. It's like bank robbers. They don't go in intending to kill everyone. They go in intending to rob the bank and get out of there.
Get out, yeah.
Yeah, it's just logic. There needs to be a certain degree of logic to piracy, which I'm all for. I think there should be pirates, So this will play into it. And yeah, I think 3.0 will be a case of, boom, the ship's blown up. It doesn't matter. We can get the cargo. Because provided it doesn't constantly grow.
Aren't they making the shipwrecks last a lot longer than before as well? Aren't they? They're not just going to instantly disappear. They're going to be on there for quite a long time.
I don't know. It could be. I've not heard that.
Again, we have Jay Lee talks about this as well in his thing, and how I don't know if it's on one of the interviews or not. I don't think it is. I'm not sure. But he talks about how I've got it written up actually. Hang on, let me just get my quote. What he was saying is, he spoke to Matt Sherman about it, and Skyrim, for example, and he basically said that if you imagine in Skyrim when you had the house and you put things in the stuff, and then you were to like destroy everything in the house, like I don't do like a voice thing, and everything you stuck on the wall is now on the floor, and you walk out the building. If you were to look at the game file that you've done to do that, the game file is increased by 20 megabytes for that one person. So if you imagine a game, for example, if you imagine like a game with like 100,000 people, that's 20 megabyte times 100,000. And if you imagine the server that they've got, which is the idea is a one massive continual server. If everyone does that type of thing and things persist for that type of information, it will just crash servers. People will he said that his biggest fear, Jay, was like people will be taking freelancers and then smashing them into the sides of planets and leaving them there forever to build up. And then, they can't do. There's some things that, it will just stress the server so much. The things will break, people will be kicked, all sorts of crazy stuff like that. So
makes me wonder about the Hull series. The big Hull series, if one of those blew up, how many cargo containers that's going to steal all over the server?
Like, fuck!
Guys, we need the whole org for this one.
The server would be chugging. Oh.
Wow.
God,
it just won't work.
That's when people
will not work.
That's when people will start loving pirates.
Yeah, and as Hurricane says there, same as footprints. Someone asked me the other day on the stream, if I crash my address into the planet, will it persist as a wreck? And it's the same with footprints. There will be certain things that they designed to make it look as if it's happened, but there'll be certain things that they just cannot achieve because of the technology. Eventually, fucking 20, 30 years down the line, who knows? But right now, there are limitations and they're trying to blend them with logic and, the case of it, how would it exist? And things like crashing a planet into crashing a planet into the ship. It just won't happen. Footprints won't persist forever. There needs to be a limitation for memory purposes.
It's within, if someone was within your area, isn't it? They stay there for, like, if someone's looking at them, they'll stay there for as long as there's someone, basically got visual, isn't they? The footprints. Yeah,
if someone is there in the area and you log off, for example, then that ship. Oh yeah, it's same with the wreck. If you destroy a ship, then that will persist for a certain amount of time while you're there, because you are present. If you go away and it's just in the middle of nowhere, there's no need to persist it.
And no one else knew about it, then it would just disappear.
Yeah, obviously in reality you would go past that point and see it, and it would still be there regardless of however long it's been. But for the sake of the game, they can't do that. They can't do that for memory purposes, so they'll just fucking get rid. No one's gonna know. If your grandma fell in the woods and you weren't around, who cares? Yeah. You don't know. You're not there to see her.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're working hard on the cargo shopping experience. Now, this was exciting. Okay, so because obviously you've got cargo, so now they're working on the HUDs. They've obviously created the whole kind of, I guess, the system in place. They've been working on the placement of cargo debris generation on an explosion. Once your ship has cargo, it will generate a percentage of the cargo in the ship, which we've already talked about. When it comes to selling your cargo, they've integrated the new complete shop code with the solar system shopping service with the dynamic population, which basically means the dynamic population of it, or populace of it, will be influenced by what sells. So in an area, for example, if people are selling loads of a certain product, the value will go down. And then something else that's not being, will have an increase. We'll have an impact on obviously the the selling of things, cargo and goods and stuff, which is really cool. Which is very cool. I when I saw this, I kind of saw it and I was like, oh, cool. I look forward to seeing, because they showed us the kind of the hexes kind of old school sounding one, kind of like binary kind of sounding thing. So again, very exciting to see this in place. I'm glad they've got this in. I'm glad.
Can't wait to give that a whirl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of these panels I really like because they're going to be different. Like we saw the original one, like you were saying about the sort of alien-esque.
Yeah.
And then you've got a bit more of an advanced one here, which.
Yep. I'm glad you did it because I couldn't even get anywhere near the sounds. It would have sounded terrible.
You were close with that.
Oh, was it? I was thinking dial-up.
That wasn't too bad. But this one looks more like Port Olisar. And they're all going to be different. They're all going to be reflective of the area you are at. And what I love about this is it shows. I mean, the UEC and the Alpha UEC seems completely off. This guy has like 34,000 UEC.
Yeah, it's
and suddenly, it's 2004. And fuck off. I'm not talking right.
You're not.
It's going to be really interesting interacting with these panels, these kiosks. Not like the main point of playing a game, but it's gonna feel realistic because it'll feel like you're dealing with your own ship. And it did point out that the cargo SCU of a Cutlass was 6,300 standard cargo units, and I think a standard cargo unit is the small box that we're seeing now. So the tiny box.
It's not accurate. They've confirmed on Reddit and stuff. They said that if they were to follow that, if they followed that algorithm or something, it would be ridiculously bigger than like a Conne or something stupid. So it's not accurate. It's just they've just done that to basically fuck us up.
Sometimes I say things that are not accurate.
Mm-hmm. No. I did the same. I initially thought the same. I was like, someone was asking about it and getting all excited. And I was like, oh, look, I've got the answer for you. And then someone's corrected me.
It's like, nope.
Placeholder.
It's designed to check to see if we actually really are doing our homework. So no, it's not accurate. But it's just, I think the idea of it looks nice, and I like the aesthetics, the lettering, and the styling, and the fact that we are going to be able to do this in game now. That's what's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that in 3.0 it's going to be dynamic, like we saw with the caterpillar panels where you go up to it and you're engaged and you can start using it? Or do you think it's going to be a case of press F to use that panel? Because they did say when they designed the caterpillar that you'd be able to dynamically interact with your screen or your panel rather than just clicking on it.
I would like
use.
I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about in terms of like, I was hoping that they might be able to do a situation where you can kind of like link to a computer and then you can use your Mobi-Glass wherever you are once you're linked to a computer or something. So you can link the Mobi-Glass to the computer, and then if you're at your, I don't know, on your ship or something, you can then call up that computer information, and then you can do trading through your Mobi-Glass on the ship, rather than having to always go to the HUDs. So you have to go to them initially. You have to link up. You have to do
like Bluetooth.
Yeah, exactly.
You have access. You got to.
Yeah. Exactly.
Space,
You've got to get access.
Wi-Fi.
Space tooth.
Exactly. I mean, and it would be kind of, and again, that can open up a whole nother game of hacking and like, all that kind of fun. So hacking people's Mobi-Glasses and
coming soon.
Steal their cargo, which would be quite fun, right? So instead of doing piracy through normal piracy, we could do electronic piracy. So you could kind of like hack people's Mobi-Glasses and steal their cargo and stuff. Get it transferred over. How cool that.
Hack the planet, citizen.
But anyway, Chris Roberts again. God damn it, Madness! Stop it with the ideas. God.
He's got his notepad and pen like ready.
He's sat there now, like, that's great.
As he always does.
Hacking. He's always texting me. I'm telling you, after the show.
So the next thing you were mentioning, this is what we spoke about earlier, wasn't it, Madness? About the
ground elevation of the hovering ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, now this, okay, I will listen to what you guys have to say on this one. What do you guys think about the height of Let
me put the video on.
The Nox hovering at the moment. So let's get a general feeling from you guys in chat.
Too high.
From everybody. Let's see what's everyone think. Yeah. So you thinking too high? What do you think, Bo?
I think it may not be as high as it looks, because it could just be the camera angle. But if it is literally that, it is a bit too high, because literally I want to be able to have to dodge rocks, because it gives you that feel like, oh damn, this is fast. If you're just gliding over everything, it's going to be, even now it doesn't look as fast as it used to.
He passes over the small ones.
Well, no, there was like a brief video before.
What do you think, Kyros?
Well, he's able to pass over the smaller rocks without having to really avoid them, but the larger ones he is having to avoid. You sort of see as he goes past them, you get a better sense of the height. I think it could come down a smidge personally, but it's probably not too bad. I think most of it's just a bad camera angle.
Yeah, I think that's.
Well, if you notice, when it comes off the landing pad, it doesn't actually change the height at all.
No.
There's not even like a subtle lowering, so it's as if it's still on the landing pad height. Just have a watch when it comes up. I think they are going to lower it, because if you look at the Dragonfly, it's a lot lower.
Okay, so for me, I think the guns are what's causing the problem here. They're on the bottom of it, and they're having to make it higher so the guns don't scrape along the ground.
Yeah, that was a bad move, I think, design-wise.
I thought the guns were poking out through the side of the front. That's what I thought they were.
It should be in front of the next part up, the little rear.
Yeah, you can see where the I don't know if you'll be able to see the mouse, but there's this bit here at the front on the bottom, and I thought that's where the guns went through either side. So
actually,
like there's
no consistency.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
they're hiding the guns on the Nox, but they're showing us the gun on the Gladius.
Yeah, I know. But don't talk to me about that.
You're right. I think the guns need to be moved forward and up slightly, just to be more in line, because it seems too deep.
Yeah, you want them up where you can see them somewhat.
Okay. There we go.
Like the Dragonfly's got them at the front, and it looks absolutely badass.
I don't need to see the guns. I just need them not to be trailing around on the ground.
Ramad has said in chat there, he said they can't change where the guns go due to clipping when people change the loadout.
Well, this is the thing. They should. This is an alien ship. Can I just say this is an alien ship? So all the other alien ships generally have alien hardpoints or are unable to be, like you need glaives and things, so you can't change them. They're fixed. So I don't see why they don't just fix to size 2
or a certain range of weapons.
Custom made Xeon things that are integrated and make it. I just don't like the position. I think you've lost all of the smoke effect from the back of it. when you saw the advert trailer, it's kind of burning across the desert, huge smoke clouds behind it, and I don't see that I'm going to get any of that with this because I'm just
maybe the smoke effect is when you're dragging the guns along the ground.
Maybe, yeah, burning, falling off at the bottom. But the other thing is, Mac, what you were saying about it coming off the pad. If you notice, the pad's already raised, so it's exactly the same height as it comes off the pad. There, it doesn't move. It doesn't drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Down,
it doesn't drop down to the actual planet.
Yeah, it stays the same height all the way through, doesn't it? So I don't like it. I don't think the view obviously helps, but if the view sucks from this angle, and I'm not being funny, I've seen the view from this angle from other vehicles, and it looks fine. If I'm not enjoying it from this, then that's disappointing.
Leaning is cool though.
I don't think you would really want to drive it.
Yeah, that's what that's what they're talking about, isn't it? Is the fact that they're changing the way that it drifts. They don't want it to drift too much, and before it drifted way too much. So this is an updated version of how it drifts. So that doesn't mean to say that they won't change the height at which it flies. But this is the Jan Gravlev technology. Or is it the normal Gravlev technology? It's probably the normal, isn't it? Because the Dragonfly, seems a lot lower than this. Yeah. It seems to cushion the ground rather than this seems to float above it.
Yeah, it's just I don't get any. I want to have a feeling of being connected more to the ground than to the space, because that's the whole point. It's meant to be a land-based vehicle, not a spaceship. Yeah. It feels more like a spaceship now and less like a land-based vehicle.
Yeah, it needs to feel like it's hugging the ground. It needs to feel like it's actually part of the ground and it's reacting to what is on the ground.
And I know you can go in space with it and all the rest of it. That's fine, but that's fine. It can do it there. I don't care. But on the ground, I want it to, feel more. I want it to be the same kind of height as Skywalker's sand speeder when it kind of goes across that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That kind of height off the ground, that's what I want to get.
Yeah, where you're actually avoiding even sort of smallish rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Those ones, yeah, exactly. Okay, so the Nox, I think it's not there yet. I'm sure they'll work on it. I mean,
Yeah, it's not finished. They're still working. If they're affecting the way that it drags, they're still affecting the way that it sits and maneuvers and so forth. Yeah. If it's wrong, we'll fucking complain, and they'll change it.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly. And if at the end of the day, I wonder how many of them have been flying this, and yeah, exactly. I mean, if
there's only so many internal people that have tried this out and thought it looks alright, and they're being polite. Half of them are being polite.
Yeah. It's one thing to see a video of it. It's entirely another thing to actually, when we've got our hands on it, to actually see how it feels for ourselves.
Exactly. And like you say, the camera angle will affect the way it feels.
Yeah, it's just not. It needs to be clear. No. I want to get that A-team, the camera low by the front wheel feeling. That's what you want. Yeah. If anyone remembers that the A-team, they always had the camera where it was screeching around a corner, and they had the camera really low by the front wheel. That was one of the best views, I tell you. So we got the next one is Mal Eckhart's glass.
That's pretty cool.
So this is obviously a liquid, visual effects type of thing that they've got.
So I hope we see them take this tech. I hope we see them take this tech into cargo and things like that.
They said it would affect everything like planets. Obviously, I think they said something like water is. I can't quote them exactly, but they said basically saying that the whole of the verse has different water effects in terms of planet water. And I assume things like cargo. So far, it's just dealing with the glass, which they also said gravity of planets will affect the way that the water moves. However that works, if you're on a planet where there's no gravity, you're all right. You're not drinking. Never mind.
I think it's a very clever get-out clause for doing really bad liquid.
I think it looks pretty good.
Because
now.
Well, you think
they're moving the glass quick. I think it looks good. They're moving it. If they move it really fast, it doesn't look good. Like, it doesn't react naturally. But the slight movements, it reacts pretty well.
It's Jello, man. It's not good at all.
What do you think he's drinking? How do you know it's a liquid? Might be a Jello shot.
It's a really big one.
It could be. What I'm more interested, I would like to see what it would do when it's broken and smashed and has anti-gravity and starts to go into droplets and kind of.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be the fun thing for anti-grav. But in terms of having this mechanic in, I think it's great that they've got it. But anyone that's done visual effects knows that the hardest things to do: smoke, fire, water, these things to really replicate and to make them look real, really hard. It's not that easy at all. They're still working on this stuff at ILM and all the rest of it. They continue to make improvements. But even if you watch the latest, if you watch like Jurassic World, whatever, when the thing lands in the water, it looks good. But even over time, your eye is so good at at seeing how crap something is. So for this, it just looks. I mean, you can see it when he spins it. It looks like frozen Coca-Cola.
I think once they start adding things to like splash effects, so when you shake it about, it kind of splashes a bit.
It's good they got the tech. It's good they got the tech. It's good they got the tech, and I'm sure it will get better. But I mean, I don't think it's a super important, but it will be very important for water on planets, because to get that level of quality that they go for in everything they do in terms of textures and materials and everything, the water on the planets is is important, you know.
Yeah.
There'll be people who want to sink their spaceship in a lake, and you're going to want it to react properly.
Well, we see it later. We see the X-Wing kind of, swamp ship kind of picture that I kind of refer to, which we see later. Yeah. Which I was kind of, excited about. So they've got, but the next big thing was the animation. So this was the Springs landing shock animations.
Love it.
Which we all know, if anyone remembers from Gamescom and SystemCon, sorry, Chris Roberts was very excited to point out when the Aquila landed, this tiny little movement we saw. They've obviously continued with that, and they've now got it really working quite well. So it's a bit bouncy, but I'm sure they'll tighten the springs.
I think they definitely have to tighten the string.
Yeah, on the Cutlass. You see the Cutlass looks like it's about to fall over. I think at one point it was like, woo! It does feel a bit like a Citroen C1 or whatever they are, the old school cars, with the hydraulic suspensions.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice to be able to land manually again.
Don't delete me. I think this is one of the main... I've been wanting this since the first time I've ever played Star Citizen, where the landing pads is like you're jumping with your knees, your legs straight. It feels awful. This is so intelligent again that it detects the planet of the planet gravity as well as the mass of the ship.
And the surface and everything, and it knows how to react.
Really important, and it looks is very bouncy.
It's going to allow us to land on uneven surfaces as well.
Yeah. It's going to
be vital.
Because you remember the Gamescom demo with the Freelancer, and they landed on the planet, and the guy couldn't get back into the back.
Yeah, exactly, because the landing was so uneven, the ground. Yeah, exactly.
There he goes. Whoa! I'm about to fall over.
But that looks so natural. It looks so real.
Yeah,
the last one.
Can you pause it on the Aurora as well? Next time we go through bio, just to get the side view. Because that's the new Aurora. Just to kind of go.
Okay, yeah, sure.
That would be sweet, dude. But yeah, no, they look great, don't they? I mean, it's just nice that they've got them in. I'm just excited to land now.
Just in that image, you can see how big the Cutlass has got. It's crazy.
Can't wait to test it out on the Retaliator. Because that thing's got huge landing gear.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. It's great for the cinema.
There's a side of the Aurora.
Okay, nice. Wait for it to catch up. Yeah. Do you know what was interesting is that Cutlass? We were talking to Jay Lee as well about this, about the black and the grey Cutlass, and he was talking to Josh Coons about it, and he was saying they haven't quite finished it, but I was expecting black on black, not this kind of subtle kind of metal colours to the Cutlass. Grey and black is not black, is it? But anyway,
I assume they're using the same colours as the Drake aesthetic.
Well, they were saying
the same, isn't it?
He was saying that it's not finished yet, and some of the materials will change color depending on obviously the light and the planets as well. Obviously, depending on what's in the area will affect the lighting of the ships. But grey, you can see it's clearly you can clearly see it was grey. I guess it's still, like you said, it's the aesthetics of Drake that kind of because they're meant to be. Are they meant to be like kind of not cheap, but kind of a bit more bashed together type of thing, rather than like a Origin, So anyway, let's talk about the Aurora. Let's talk about the Aurora.
It does look nice.
The colorway is quite nice, isn't it? That kind of sandy color with the white.
That could mean that there's new skins coming in, because that's not. Is that a part of the Auroras we have already? I've not seen that skin before with the sort of Adidas stripe.
It does look like Adidas stripes. I was thinking that. I was like, "Ooh, shoes sponsored by Adidas."
So I'm really excited for the Aurora, because it was the first ship I ever played for, And
yeah, me too.
You when you get your first access to it, you'd love it because it's so simple.
Yeah,
it's everything you ever need in a ship.
Yeah,
and I love it. I love the Aurora. I'm so excited.
Caravan for you, just to go by
it's
yourself.
a new skin. It's a new skin, according to the guys in chat. And also, I don't even notice the guns have moved as well on the front.
Oh yeah.
Sitting up by the cockpit a bit more.
Yeah, that's weird. So what are the other parts going to be for then? Because they've still got mounts there by the looks of it.
Looks like a
looks
USB slot.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I can plug my phone in.
Beacon hardpoints.
Bio, your audio is apparently very quiet.
Mine? No.
So.
He's gone quiet.
I don't know how I'm doing it.
It's a pickup truck. Feels that way to me. I when I see the Aurora, I think of a bug. It reminds me like an insect. Its wings are going to open up and it's going to suddenly fly away. You know, it's kind of got this wonderful insect. I said this before on other streams. It does feel like an insect to me.
I see it as just like a Ford Escort, your basic car, your very basic car, Ford Escort, Ford Mondeo, whatever it is. I just think it's going to be that sort of ship that if you know, like when you've used all your amazing ships and you can't afford the insurance and you're like, oh, I've got the Aurora. Right. Excellent. And you'll really appreciate it. You'll really appreciate being inside it with the new control scheme. It's going to be the most basic of ships. So I see it as being, for video-wise, a good tutorial ship for the basics of flight. Because don't forget, the majority of people out of the 17 million, or 1.7 million, backers have got an Aurora. So it's going to be the most common ship you will ever see. And I think it looks perfect. I love it. I really do.
Yeah. I'm really glad that they've redone the Aurora. Like you say, so many backers have got one. And it's often the first point of experience that people will get with Star Citizen. So...
Yeah, it's
very important they get it right.
Just to have another starter package because of the whole character slot thing, but I think I'm getting an Aurora just to have one again.
You see, I back for the LX, the luxury one, because it's just like a collector's version. I doubt I will use it that often, but every now and again when I'm streaming and I kind of think, what should I use? And you always go for the best ship, the biggest ship, the most interesting that you think most people are interested in. I think, fuck it, I'm going to use an Aurora. It just feels like it's a part of you. It's not like you're flying something that's complicated. It's just a nice little perfect little package ship. Have I said I love the Aurora? I like the Aurora.
Yeah. I'll just let you carry on because
how's my volume now as well?
We'll wait and see what the Mustang rework looks like as well, because obviously those two. I hope they don't increase the price because I don't like this whole increasing basic package ship prices. I hope they just keep it the same.
I think what they're doing is they're pricing ships based on the components. So that's why we've seen this sudden increase on every concept ship since whatever point. I think the Sabre was the first one to do it, where suddenly the price of what a ship was just like hundreds of pounds, where it should have been 90 to like 110 or whatever. Yeah. They're basing it on components of what it would cost in the verse. Obviously, this is like their way of making more money anyway, so they're going to say stuff like that. But ships are going to get expensive.
Yeah, I just think they got to kind of go, well, I think right now, unless they're obviously saying, interest rates have gone up in the verse, so we have to charge more money. Whereas actually what you're getting is basically exactly the same ship that you got X number of months ago. So I don't... Yeah. Why am I paying more for it other than the interest rates, you know? Unless it comes with a shiny new sat-nav and it's got bigger engines. I'm just thinking, I'm trying to compare it to cars because the only reason why cars cost more money in this country generally year on year is they obviously come with better features and interest rates in the country. Well, yeah, but just, that's what I'm saying. But you have a reason for the person that's selling you the ships or the car tells you that this is better because of this, this, and this. It comes extra. This comes better standard. Blah 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 blah. Therefore, but normally when I talk to a guy when I was trying to buy a new car, and I said to him, this car, which is the top of the range one, cost me X amount of money a few years ago. I want to get the same. Why can't I get the same price? But he's like looking at me, laughing at me, going, "You fool!" I was like, "Well, why? Why can't I get? He said, well, the cost of money, and then obviously he said interest rates. So I'm thinking this game, that's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, the vehicle's exactly the same. There's nothing more for it.
I don't think they're going to bring interest rates into the game.
No, I don't want them to bring it. But I'm just thinking,
there's on the
in their personal.
their side, personally, if they say to me, well, it's costing us more money now to light the buildings in Foundry 42, so therefore this is why we have to charge you more for the ship, I'd be like, okay, fair enough. You know, that's life. But because it's still the starter ship, they can't, you know, if they push that price up too much, then it's not a starter ship anymore.
To be fair, I think the problem is they said originally that prices for packages will go up because they want to reward earlier backers. That's the original starting point. Is I think I paid $30 or $35 the original package, and since then it's increased as you would expect.
Is it 45 now?
It's about 54 now, is it? Or is it?
And
54 per package, but that's only the one game package. But this is the whole part of if they start at a certain point to reward earlier backers, they can't make it the same or less than because you wouldn't be rewarding earlier backers. Now, every now and again, they do bring in a super cheap pack. Like when they did the Javelin sale, didn't they bring in like a really cheap, like $30 package for Auroras or something? They brought in something where it was super cheap.
Just literally brought in the ship by itself, wasn't it? And
or was it just the ship?
They basically reduced the price of the starter packages, didn't they, to half price?
Yeah, they did a lot of Warborn kind of packages as well, didn't they? Were they like 32?
Yeah, that's it.
People there was only a limited number of them, wasn't there?
Yeah, which is fine, and do you know what? I completely agree with what you're saying in terms of having it cheaper for the initial backers, and then now. But I'm just kind of like, what do you think should be the price now for just the standard Star Citizen package with a standard ship? Because I
think it's too much.
Because I think games at the moment they're like anywhere between £20 and £40, and if you buy the deluxe version, it's maybe goes up to 60, and then once the game's got huge amounts of content or whatever, then it's like 100. I'm just thinking, it seems pretty steep.
It is very steep, and I think people who are coming new to the game who don't know anything about it will look at that and be like, "Fuck that!" Like I looked at
and it's still an alpha.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, well, that.
Do you reckon when they bring the ability to buy ships in game, that they'll just bring out literally just the game and Squadron 42 by itself? Obviously, you can get Squadron 42 as an add-on, but you can't get Star Citizen by itself without having to buy a ship on. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So you can buy just Star Citizen.
You can do that now. You can just buy Star Citizen, or you can just they're separate packages. So you can.
I didn't think you could just buy Star. I knew you could buy just Squadron 42 as an add-on. I didn't think you could get Star Citizen.
The thing is, it's like yes, $50 for a triple. If you know what the game scope is, $50 is very cheap, or whatever it is. But they're not selling it to the people who are new to the game. They want to make sure that people who come to the game who've just heard about it from a friend or whatever, look at it and be like, that seems worth it. Like when I saw Life is Feudal at £23, I was like, it's too much. Yeah, too much for me. For an alpha game, it's still alpha. It shouldn't be £54. What they're doing is playing off of the hype of Star Citizen to create to me, $54 for this game is more than worth it. You know, I'd pay that numerous times to play this game.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who don't know about it, who haven't backed from the initial start, who maybe just sort of the website is off. Yeah, it's not really good for new players. They need to make sure that it is to a point where people can be like, I'll try it. But I think what they're thinking is the game is going to be worth it. People are going to buy it. And I agree. I think people will play it regardless because it is pushing everything.
Well, I'm hoping they've improved the website definitely for 3.0.
They are.
I know they are, but it still could also be pushed back because I know they're still having problems with certain things as well on the that kind of side of things. But it would be something that they have to kind of make right so that people can see the gameplay of 3.0 and go, this game is definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Where at the moment it's just showing you, the most you see on the front page is a load of writing and it tells you roughly who won the latest, who was on the latest of Citizens of the Stars.
I think they're going to have Gamescom is going to be the platform that they can kind of show a lot of it to the gaming community properly. We've already heard from Jay Lee talking about CJ. I'm Baywatch. What am I doing? to Jay Lee, and he's already kind of talked about how this is the PU and the baby PU. Basically, this is it. This is the baby Star Citizen game.
This is the real thing.
This is the legit game now, and this is like, we get to really see what they're going to build on. What we've had before is just tiny specks of dust by comparison, really.
Little sand pit.
Yeah, exactly. So I think with the Gamescom, I think the webpage can come, but I don't want them to delay release of the game just for the bloody webpage right now. I just like this.
No, I don't think
this is alpha. They don't need to, because it's still alpha. The webpage can be done as we go along.
Don't forget they're putting hints into they're putting that hint system.
Yes, exactly.
I think is it feature complete now? I think it was last week.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
yeah. Where people who are new to the game, because obviously veteran backers, people who've been playing it for a while, will know exactly what to do. They'll jump in, they'll just get on with it. It's fine. Yeah. But it's the same when I do videos. I forget that some people don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And they come in and they're like, what's this going about? And I'm going into detail about how the certain mechanic will work. You've got to realize that a lot of people who jump on the stream for the first time will have no idea how this game works. They won't understand the mechanic of buying a game. And that's not their fault. It needs to be clear on the website. I don't mean like for 3.0, hold the game off because the website needs to be clear. That is important, but not game breaking. They should release 3.0 because we, the community, do the majority of explaining how the fucking game works anyway. Yeah. But it is difficult to understand. And I empathize with new backers who are like, so can I buy a shipping game? Do I have to pay £200 for this game? And you're like, no.
Can you land on planets yet?
But I do. I mean, I had somebody in game chat the other day going, I've been playing this game for a few hours. I don't know what I'm doing. It sucks. I hate it. My ship is shit. I'm getting blown up by everybody. You could tell the frustration of somebody that just was like, my ship is shit. I can't do anything with it. I can't do any missions. I kill the NPCs. I fly to ICC. Some prat kills me and is warlock EMPs and blows me up out the sky. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand why I can't fly. The game then bugs out on all these things, and then you go, and I've spent $72 on this, to get Squadron 42 and stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay, and you kind of go, I know, you kind of feel really sorry because you kind of go, yeah, exactly. You're like, is that all you spent? You idiot! You should have spent £120. And then you would have a good game, but no, and you just kind of go, oh, how good. The reality is that we are kind of like those people who are in these vintage record stores. We're the early adopters. We're the first generation of people that are kind of like, we see the potential. We really we love it more than common sense, really. And we just want to be those people who can say, those cool kids who are at the beginning going, yeah, we were there from the beginning.
That's the only benefit of backing early, is that we are like, who are you talking to? Do you know I was here since 2012?
Yeah, we were there.
The fact is,
back in the day,
you need to be.
Yeah. Call that a bug. Do you call that a crash? No.
I had a great bug today that my arms were like this.
Oh, I saw the one. It was hilarious. You were striking a pose.
Aurora. I was like, nope.
It was hilarious. I saw that. That was very funny.
And the problem is, like, people come into this game and they're like, what is this? I've literally spent nearly 3 hours work time on this game and it didn't work. We need to be the voice that explains to them it's alpha. This is that's why I like to hype things up, because this is what we're waiting for. We're not waiting for 3.0. We're not waiting for 3.1. We're waiting for the final game ultimately. And that's what's important to get across to people that are new to the game, is that this is testing. This is all testing.
What you should do, Mac, once a month is start bringing out a video which just says this is still alpha. And then people.
Everybody stop. Stop complaining.
Stop what you're doing. This is alpha.
I think it's like when I just said to the guy in chat when he was struggling, I just said, look, seriously, the best thing you should do, mate, go online, go on Twitch channels, go on YouTube, go and do some homework. Go off and do a bit of homework about the game a bit more if you haven't done that. And he said, yeah, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go do it. So he went off, and I said to him, because I said, don't give up on it, because this is going to be a huge game and you'll regret it if you gave up on it. Don't give up on it. It's going to be great, and you can be part of it, but you have to believe. And it's faith. You have to have faith right now that this will become something special. And I firmly believe it, and I think a lot of us, we're all here, crazy people, do. So moving on to the next big thing in ATV, which was, well, the next big thing, there's a few things. So there was the Mobiglass again. So they showed us the Mobiglass again in darkness, which is always nice to see the Mobiglass constantly in darkness. I'd like to see it in bright light to see how much I can see. Because they have done everything against a black background. Have you noticed that? We are in dark spaces. It would be interesting to see if you can adjust the color or whatever so you can see it when you're on a very sunny planet, desert.
I like the way you've put in this. Oh, look, a NPC walks past or something like that. Didn't you?
Yes, my type.
This has to be Levski, doesn't it?
It's human. Yes, it does look like Levski in the background. I was trying to figure out who walked past. But we've seen the Nobiglass, but again, I think what I wanted to bring this up for a topic of conversation was because I know from a streaming perspective, from a streamers, and I know I've got Mac and we're all streamers here, is that Saurus and Board have put in something to CIG to talk about how for stream snipers, people that can see where we are at and see from our Mobiglass on stream to get our information to find out, they were wanting to put something forward where we could maybe bring this information off of our screen and have it on a separate screen so people can't see it.
So like a streamer.
Yeah.
Streamer mode.
Yeah, because I can understand
much,
that. I can understand that for someone, I mean, for someone like myself who gets, maybe 1,000, 2,000 views a time, I could find that quite hard, dealing with all that really hot, super cool people watching me all the time.
Say 2,000.
Yeah, but Saurus getting his 2, maybe 3 people, I understand why he's going to struggle. No, I'm genuinely only joking. No, I can see if you've got like a lot of people who come in and watch you stream, how they do bring heat. People do come into stream snipe them. He's had it before. Yeah. Spy on them. Find out locations. Maybe they're doing maybe he's wanting to do, like with his org or something. They want to go do something fun, like cargo run.
Yeah.
But they don't want to show everyone where they are, because then they just be like, guys, yeah, Saurus is taking he's taking a whole sea to Levski or whatever. Let's load up the Retaliator and the all the everything ready to wreck him and take all his shit.
They did mention ages ago they want to support streamers, didn't they?
Yeah,
and
so they do have to
figure
think
out a way of so that the stream won't pick it up. But if you activate
it will be very difficult to sort something like that out. I mean, I was always thinking when it comes to streaming, it's always going to be more of a fun aspect. It's not going to be a serious thing unless I'm not reading chat. But you can put on Twitch and on things a delay of like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So you can actually do that on Twitch. So you can delay your whole stream by, if you're not talking to chat, then you can delay the full stream by 30 minutes.
30-minute delay.
Yeah. Hi.
Well, you can make it so that yeah, that would be crazy.
It's just not going to work, that one.
So that way you could do it like is you stream and then you plan to do certain things where like big stuff not on stream. You make videos out of them instead. That's
Well, talking of YouTube, I've created a second character, which I'm not even good. Not even Miserable knows what my second character's name is, because partly I want to make videos where I'm not constantly being like, "Hey, can I join?" and being followed by like 8 people, and you're just trying to fucking play the game for the sake of playing the game, or record. I'm trying to do like a video on like the Aurora setup or the Mustang.
Piracy.
Anything, yeah, even piracy. Yeah, you don't want to have the same account linked to the bad side of town. So it's important to be able to have that what do you call it?
I just want to say, Jack, there's no guarantee, Jack, because he says about people being able to read your Mobiglass in game. There's no guarantee, and people keep thinking we don't know if the Mobiglass is going to be what I see, what you see. Okay, that might not be persistent.
It might just be kind of like a blurry kind of
we don't know.
Image of roughly what you're doing, but not.
It might be
because what you render on your screen is not the same as what renders on other people's screen.
Yeah.
So they can just placeholder that really easily.
Yeah.
But also, I'm a very I'm not the most multiplayer guy. I like playing single player games, and I like playing multiplayer games single player, and not telling people I'm on. Like I hide a lot online, like fucking all the time. If you look at my Discord or whatever, I'm always idle or whatever, because I'm great at socializing. But
really,
when
doesn't sound like it.
Occasionally, but like I want to be able to play the game without anybody knowing I'm there, not just for the sake of streaming YouTube videos. But also, I don't want people always. If I've got like an hour to kill because my girlfriend's getting a bath, I'll be like, right, I'm just gonna fucking play the game. And then someone like, can you join in? I'm on Discord. Can you do this? I'm like, fuck off! I just want to play the game.
Yeah.
I love the community. Don't get me wrong, but every now and again, you just want to be alone, and
such a hermit.
You need to be able to have.
Look at you in your shed, all alone.
Every now and again, you just want to be alone in the game, and I think like you'll need a way of hiding your name, your location, that sort of stuff. And I think it's very important, especially for streamers, because stream sniping is a problem, a big problem. Luckily, the majority of my community tend to help me because I need a lot of help. It's too easy to stream snipe me.
God, do you know what you sound like? You know the celebrities that complain about fucking getting their shit out into the media and the paparazzi? That's what you sound like. Right? I'm happy to stream and I have lots of people and things, but then at the same time, I don't want people seeing what I'm doing.
Everyone just fucking unsubscribes. Fuck you all. Fuck you all.
It's kind of, I kind of go, there is a little bit of there's an irony to that, and there's kind of like a, yeah, I mean, I hope they do enable us to be able to have a feature to be able to blur, maybe, there could be a blurring setting, where or something.
Certain aspects of this, yeah.
Or maybe we'll just have to create something in OBS or something which we can then move over the screen. It's kind of blurs, like a feature that kind of blurs the section so people can't see. When we do it, we have to manually do it ourselves to block it out so people can't see what we're doing to a degree. Might be a bit tedious, but at the end of the day, the way that the game is going at a slower pace anyway, it might not necessarily be a bigger thing to have to do that,
Yeah, I mean, YouTube's easier to do that because you edit it afterwards. You can blank things out. Streaming, you're screwed. If people can find you all the time, unless apparently you have to be a partner in order to have that delay, that 30-minute delay or whatever.
Yeah, I think
never announce your destination in chat.
You could create.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I live here.
You could create like a semi-translucent kind of piece of something that could be hotkeyed to a button on your keyboard or something that would then maybe block for a few seconds information, and you could just press a key, and then I'm just thinking of a solution, and then it blurs the screen for a second, and then you unpress it when you're finished, and then I know it's a tedious thing, but you'll forget sometimes. You'll forget to do it, but maybe there's a solution there. I don't know.
I think they will come up with something that will allow that to happen, because don't forget, content creators are their main source of advertising, but they did say what they weren't going to do originally is do traditional advertising. They originally said they're not going to use that. They're going to rely on streamers and the community. No. But now they're saying that, and I mean, I always thought they would use traditional because it's logical. They can afford it; they'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Gamescom is a traditional way of advertising big trade shows, and so they're doing that. So I don't see why they wouldn't. They've already got it in magazines.
Yeah, there's was it GameStar?
Yeah, GameStar, and then they've done it at Gamer PC, and they did the events. No, that's
GameStar's out next week, I think, isn't it? In the shops, but you can get it online if you're. You should have it in your email if you're.
Let's get on to the next really exciting thing. Let's go into the Hurricane, please.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't even touched the end of the fucking AtV yet, guys. So we got the Hurricane. This is exciting. Yeah, you got about half an hour. We might have to skip questions this week. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how we. No, we won't skip questions. I'm only joking. I'll just have to stay up late. So we've got Hurricane now. What do we guys think? Hurricane. I know a lot of people might be excited. Some people aren't. Some people are. Bit of a mixed. It's got a bit of a mixed bag actually about the Hurricane. I love the orange landing gear and the inside. Nice. I wish they'd keep it. I did ask Jay Lee if he would ask them if they could keep the orange landing gear.
They probably won't.
No, they're all placeholders, aren't they?
Yeah. But it would be great. It would be great if they could. It would be really great.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of this part I was kind of bored of because I don't care about the Hurricane, but I understand people will be. So I was like, skip.
I have a very interesting little bit of information for you. Some people might, it's kind of common sense, but Chris, this is from Jelly. So Chris wanted the original concept in terms of the the turret on the Hurricane to be like the one that you currently have in the Super Hornet. And the idea, the reason, if you notice that the height of it, why it sticks up so high, is not just for obviously the fact that it has 4 hardpoint size 3s on it, which enables you to put 4 mantises on this thing. Okay, so you think how big a mantis is.
Mantis
right? Yeah, exactly. But in order for range of motion, so like with the bull turret on the Super Hornet, you can really, fling it around and see in all directions. You get good visibility. Again, this kind of really does sum up how favoritism CIG has for Anvil over every other game manufacturer. Okay? No, I'm not lying, because if you get in a Cutlass, have you tried to see the visibility you get in a fucking Cutlass cockpit? Now, currently, I know we're going to see the new one. Let's wait and see.
It's going to be a lot better, I think.
But it does, I firmly believe Anvil is doing some under the table deals with Chris Roberts at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. But they're clearly getting all the good shit. So, I mean, look at their HUD.
Citizen.
Look at the scam, totally. Look at by the way,
because he said he wanted it to be able to hit all angles.
Yes,
wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's got to have
do that. It had to sit up higher.
Yeah, which means it is vulnerable to being shot at.
Yes.
But it was. I mean, it does look good. A lot of people. It opens up a whole other kind of combat scenario with so much DPS coming out of that thing with your mate in it. But again, look at the HUDs though. Look, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 radar, 6 HUDs on that cockpit. 6.
How many?
Crazy.
6 HUDs. 3 in the middle. Surprise, surprise. The radar's in the middle, guys. And then 2 up at the top. 1 left and right side. I mean, again, this is still placeholder. This is not obviously 100% finished, but this is their initial ideas, obviously, where they want everything laid out, and it's pretty much fleshed out now. So if you look, they've got obviously the turret's visibility and how many HUDs he has, and then, which is obviously the second-person pilot, and then they have the pilot, the co-pilot, and then you got the pilot and how many he's got. So you'll see how many they've got. So again, they obviously think information is key and important in Anvil, but not so important in Aegis. Chris Roberts, would you mind coming on the show and answering the reasons why this is the case? I put the challenge out to you right now. Please come on the show and explain to me why gun animation on a Gladius is more important than HUD information when you're clearly doing that for other ships.
Because
I'm here all week.
In the Gladius, you get a sense of feeling that you want to see your guns,
which I'm going to change to mass drivers and don't care about. To whatever's a decent gun. No, I'm just moving on. Sorry.
What's the next thing? Is the
next thing on from the Hurricane, we get on to costumes. So now this is good. Yeah, we've got some good. All right, we've got some. Right, I have some good
stuff.
Jay Lee's on this section. Okay, so Jay Lee's done this. So we have another audio section. Let me just check which one we've got. So we've got one not with him talking about the apparel as such, but we do have him talking about tattoos, and we have him talking about the shipjacker. Okay, so I've kept the apparel information for us, and then we've got one talking about the tattoos, and then another one talking about the shipjacker, because he did the shipjacker and stuff.
Okay,
so
the tattoos I can talk about. I can play it whilst the tattoo thing's in the background, can I?
Yes, exactly. So let's do the apparel then. So we've got the bridge officer, we've got the combat flight suit from Shubin. This is Jay Lee. Jay Lee has specified that the Shubin is a specific for Squadron 42. However, he did mention on the Shubin, on the flight suit, that we potentially, everything they do is built to potentially be into the PU, but they can cheat with Squadron 42 more, and so because for NPC, so because when the way that they kind of make the armor and stuff is quite samey, there's limited room for movement of kind of the designs and stuff. There is obviously variety, but there's limited. Whereas in Squadron 42 and NPCs, they can go a bit more crazy, and they can be more adventurous with the kind of the designs. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm going to get the proper interview cut down for JD so you can really listen to it at some point.
Cool.
But he talked about this and how, but what he did say was that, say, for example, the helmet, for example, or maybe some parts of the armor, they'll do like an iteration from Squadron 42 and then put it into the persistent universe. So it won't be exactly the same, but it will look similar, and it'll be more. Yeah, exactly. So that was really interesting what he said. And then he talked about the medical corpsmen. And so he said that the medical corpsmen, they will have backpacks in the game so that the medical guys can carry obviously more medical equipment now.
And all that kind of stuff.
That's cool. They will use the hard points for your weapon slots on your back. So you will sacrifice. So you will sacrifice your weapons for carrying things like rucksacks. So I'd be interested to see what types of rucksacks, if it'll be like a sling rucksack or a 2 shoulder strap rucksack that might cover up both hard points, but be able to be really big. So you'll be able to carry lots more medical gear. Again, it's this whole focus. I think, I don't know. Let me just check. I mean,
you can use a pistol, can't you? Because that's on your leg.
Yeah.
You have a sidearm. Maybe you got a front holstered rifle.
Yes,
and then backpack.
An image of like a rifle on the front, and also you can always walk around with a rifle with a sling. You just can't sling it behind you. And gameplay wise, if you need to climb a ladder, maybe you're not able to do that because it needs to be stuck on a port somewhere. So the front port, you should be able to at least carry an SMG at the least, and a pistol. But with a backpack, then no Scourge.
Even being a medic, you've got to at least have some way of protecting yourself, and you don't want to be the one that's calling out for a medic as well.
Yeah, medic, I need oh shit, I'm the medic.
Damn, I need some help.
I need another one.
Yeah, they shot the medic. I'm sorry, I'm not coming.
Yeah, but all these images so far that we're seeing for like the officer, the flight suits, they're all Squadron 42.
The medical one, I believe, most of this stuff is all Squadron.
It's all Squadron 42 until it gets to the Levski part, because that's obviously the landing zone NPCs. The majority of them are all Shubin outlaw,
Shubin combat pilot, and
there's outlaw. To do with an outlaw thing.
The outlaw one was
the OMC.
That one's not. That one will probably be PU. The medical corpsman, I believe, will probably end up being both as well. At some point.
I reckon. Both will be included.
We were speaking about this earlier, man, as weren't we, when you were doing it? And I said this would be amazing that it will be for orgs to kind of like create their own kind of. You'll use it in the game, but like kind of say to the members, "Oh, we've got this for the medics. We've got this for the mechanics." We got this for the fighters, we got this and that, and like you can have some kind of cool kind of customization within the org as well to show their colours and kind of thing. That'd be pretty cool.
I was saying he's going to end up being like Star Trek, and you're going to have lots of people not wanting to
all
be
the red
red
coats
uniform.
that die.
Yeah, like, I want to be red.
Just on the outlaw, I'm pretty sure Jaylee said that was for Squadron as well.
Yes, I think you're right, actually.
Yeah, I got the impression it wasn't part of the PU. They fitted it in. Go on.
He called it the OMC suit or something.
Which is fucking up. Someone explained what OMC was for. And it wasn't Squadron. I mean, it was Squadron. It wasn't the main thing. It was. I can't remember. But the fact that they put that within the boundaries of the medic as well means that it's likely to be a Squadron 42 thing rather than then they move on to the Levski, the 3.0 stuff. They're talking about Squadron 42 first. The medic thing was the last Squadron 42 part, and then they moved on to the Levski thing.
Here's the thing now. If anyone's watched certain Vietnam movies, I think there's a Platoon, I can't remember which one it is. There's a Vietnam movie where the guy, when he arrives and he salutes the officer, and the guy says, "Don't salute me. There's lots of people around here who'll be happily shoot me." And it's the kind of same thing. If you go around with everyone wearing nice, bright, shiny gold uniforms or whatever, and people learn to know that that's an officer, then you instantly maybe are adding yourself open to be a target. People will be like, "Oh, that's a high-value target. Let's take him out."
Yeah, so like an officer on the bridge will be like, "Swap clothes, quick."
Yeah, exactly, quick. I'm in the wrong when you're on the planet. It's no. So that's quite good. And then we move on to the tattoos. So now this has got an audio. So we will listen to Jay Lee talking about the tattoos, because this is actually quite interesting. How this gives you an insight into very much.
To load the audio in the background.
Yeah. We'll load the audio up, and then you can put the background on, and then we can all listen to it at the same time.
I'll transition it over. So whilst I just set that up.
Transition.
Back to the normal scene, and then I can go find it all.
Yeah. You can get it going. Let me know when you've got it going, and then I will pause.
So the next one is the tattoos.
Tattoos, yeah. Did you get a tattoo artist to do this?
No, I did it. I did these stuff.
Oh! Bravo.
Okay, so I've got the audio working. There we go. Hang on. So what I'll do is I'll transition over. There we go, guys. Hang on. Right, it's going to start now, Ryan. So, slow down with the typing there.
Did you get a tattoo artist to do
No,
this?
I
Or
did.
did you smooth this, bro?
I did it. I did these tattoos.
Oh, bravo! Well done. They look good.
We're almost
these
there.
There we go. It's
tattoos
not
were
playing in the
actually
background.
drawn myself.
There we go.
Like these, there were no like every line that you see here was drawn. Actually, and half of these were actually drawn traditionally with a pencil, and scanned in. And then eventually I was like, this is taking too long, so I had to Photoshop some of them. And so I got a pencil brush in Photoshop that kind of emulated a pencil, to get this tattoo type of feel to it.
Are these tattoos that you would like, or are these tattoos that you just kind of, you know?
I'm kind of surprised that we showed this, but this tattoo, these tattoos were built for a specific character, and that's all I will say. And I'm surprised that we're seeing this here, but so this is our first iteration of tattoos, and I'm sure as you all figured out, the way I worded this is for a Squadron, right? So this was just a kind of a test of technology. So this is not in-game. This is clear. I painted on top of our model. I literally just slapped it on there. So this is not in-game. The body is in-game, as we all know, but I photoshopped these on. So this is just concept. We have to... Chris doesn't like the idea. If you look at Mass Effect tattoos, right? If you look at Jack, for instance, right? Those tattoos aren't that exciting. Or it wasn't executed in a way that we would like tattoos to be portrayed. But we've been looking at a lot of tattoos in-game, like for Ghost Recon, their recent game that came out. They did tattoos beautifully, right? And so we would like to kind of emulate that within our engine right now. And so we're coming up with different technologies. Now, these tattoos that you see here, it took me about 4 days to do, just for 2 sleeves. And if we want to customize these tattoos, I would have to hand draw every single tattoo to make those variations, right? So if I am given the time and we need to do this for players, then yeah, I'll probably just draw tattoos for 3 or 4 months. That's all we'll do. But just from doing this first pass on it, it took a long time to do these tattoos.
Okay, I think that's it. There we go, guys.
Cool. So it was very insightful what he was saying about, you know, I mean, I don't know if it's in there, but he was saying about this character being obviously a separate character. They were very much influenced by Russian gangsters and prisoner. So it's built for a specific character. So, you know, they look great. I mean, obviously the fact that he's hand drawn them, half of them, and then had to do, you know, and then he's on the other half by computer, and he's scanned them in, and you know, just shows you the amount of attention to getting the detail that these guys go to for these even just what you consider small things.
Kind of do like
just to do it. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, exciting. I'm sure we're going to get lots more variations of tattoos and placements of tattoos and stuff.
Eventually,
I don't think it won't be just sleeves. It'll be, or like you do currently get, like Grand Theft Auto, you can pack placements and
hopefully
stuff.
Random.
You can move it around and kind of adjust it up and down with sliders and stuff. But yeah, pretty cool.
It's all part of the shader tech, I expect. It won't, you know.
Yeah.
It'll just fall into the same thing.
Exactly. So, if you want to move on the video to the ship jack a bit, and then we can get the last bit of Jay Lee talking. So the same video, it's just the same video you got open, but if you just move it onto the ship jack a bit, you can just pause it over the ship jack a bit, and then you can hear Jay Lee talking, guys, about.
Let me pause.
You hear Jay Lee talking about the ship jacker and the kind of like the ideas behind that, which is really interesting.
Okay, so I'll play that one now. Yeah. Close that. And then it's
and you'll probably see in the shoulder he does like an ATV thing and stuff. It's really cool. Now this is. Did you do this? But yeah, I mean, I thought this was really cool.
This piece is like, remember the horn, dude, the horn helmet. So this is the same faction as that guy, as with the horn helmet and everything. So this is the same faction of that person. But what I wanted to push for this concept and also to push on the tech end was cybernetics, and having replacing limbs. So he's actually, this character's missing a left leg, and so he has some sort of really makeshift cybernetic, and he's also missing his right arm. And so I want to be able to, because we did talk about cybernetics for a long time, and also, so I kind of put the whole spectrum of like maybe parts of his face are replaced by cybernetics to full actual limbs. So I want, so the whole idea of this character was, yeah, he has to look badass, he has to look crazy. He's also non-EVA, as you can see. He doesn't have any, like his clothes aren't sealed, so he can't go in space. So he's literally someone you probably see on the ground, or someone will be boarding your ship, or whatever, right? But the whole idea of this one was to test out, when we build this character, to see what our tech can do, regarding, do we have to, can we still use the same rig to do this type of stuff? Do we have to dumb down the asset so that we can bring cybernetics into the game? So this is the whole point of this was to see what we can do on later on in the game.
Well, it reminded me a little bit of the Elysium artwork by Greg Boardmore, and with the way that some of his early kind of concepts with the exoskeletons kind of built into the armor and stuff. And, and some of his earlier concepts behind it, when the guy had like one arm missing and he had holes in his neck, he smoked through his neck and shit, which I just thought was sick. I wanted that in the movie.
When I saw the artwork, I was like, that's got to be in the movie, and I was so disappointed they didn't put it in. Because it's just so cool. So yeah, when I saw this, I was like, they look really cool. I love the knee pads as well, dude. They're sick. Want those knee pads.
We haven't touched cybernetics, but that's something that we've been thinking about for a long time, and we kind of have an opportunity to actually tackle that aspect and that customization, and also maybe even a game mechanic ?